Philip Rivers would get to that microphone and would just give you what's in his heart. I miss that.
So what you're saying is that Justin Herbert is the bad guy from Care Bears.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 8 picks against the spread, Cust Corner, free money picks, Survivor, because I am still alive in Survivor and the Restart Survivor, so I hope you played in that as well, and the other things that happen along the way. Thank you all for joining us. Smash the like and sub to the channel while you are here. The DraftKings Listeners League is now available. That is down in the description, so please go play in that. And if you're an audio listener, do me a favor. Whether you make it through the entire show or not, or maybe you could even do it right now, scroll to the end of like 5 seconds remaining and let it finish playing. I'm working on a theory here to rig the Apple charts that... Anyway, just do me that favor and you can go back and listen to the rest of the show. I would hope that you do. If you don't want to, either way, if you've made it this far, just scroll right to the end, let it finish playing, and then you can restart it to where you were at, 56 seconds into the show. But I'm just working on it. I have a working theory on what's going on here to see if we can rig the charts. Geoff Fienberg, bad week. Again, for your boy, Justin Herbert. A lot of people coming at him these days.
Dude. Can I tell you, I was accosted at my children's, it wasn't parent-teacher interviews. It was like meet the teacher night.
And then tell me the teacher knew who you were?
Not the teacher. I'm accosted in the hallway. And listen, you want to come up? I am lovely. I have met many people.
Many people. I am very lovely. I'm a very lovely person. I know many people. Continue.
You want to come up to me and the first thing you do is throw an arrow like Justin Herbert's not good? Okay, man. Thanks. I don't know. That's yeah. So that, and it is full disclosure, Tuesday afternoon. People think I care about their eliminators. From friends to strangers to I've never spoken to you before. How do you feel, man? Is safe? Listen, I'm in an eliminator too, but I don't care. People hate the Chargers so much right now as is. Do you know what will happen? What these people, what people's thoughts will be if the Chargers lose them, their eliminators? So you do whatever you want. You're an adult. You can make that decision. I'm not making that decision for you.
Okay.
Other than that, things are good. Got no real complaints, which makes...
hold on. I want to bring in the other members of the team. Paul is back behind the camera. The coin is in studio. And, of course, we need to bring in Tim Andergust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name.
Do people come up to you randomly, Tim, and talk to you about the Jets? The Jets really stink, huh?
It has happened a couple of times in my life, but it doesn't happen very often.
So how did I want to know more about this conversation. So just did you know this person or was it a random person?
Random person.
And they were like, hey,
It'd be nice to be that famous.
Herbert sucks, huh? Is that how the...
Pretty much. It was a drive-by in the hallway. I'm looking at the kids' art on the wall. I'm not even wearing Chargers gear to be
you're dressed like a sideline.
No, I'm not. I'm not dressed like it's training camp and I am there on some official capacity. That is a fair amount of my wardrobe. That was not me. Yeah. Listen, if you thought he was bad and you played those, you disregarded your eyeballs for multiple years, you're allowed to, and you want to dance on the Cowboys and the Widowmaker spot of last week as I see proof he's bad, then that's fine. You have earned that because you were standing there months ago, years ago, 2 years ago. But if you're one of these people who for 3 years and a month believed every time you watch Justin Herbert, it's yeah, this guy's pretty fucking good. And now you think he's not good. Come on. There's enough there, but I guess this is it's part of our DNA. And I said that from essentially from the first time we would have talked ball. That's what they say, right? It's kids say talking ball. Was unfortunately because of that Jacksonville game, that is now part of our DNA until we shed it. So in many respects, it's fair. But on the other hand, they never traded for the man. They never moved out of slot. They sat there at 6 and executed their pick and handed a player an extension that he has earned. And if people want to doubt any of that, well, I mean, you could have a quarterback on one of the other like 24 teams who don't have a good one.
I liked the comp you made, Tim, on the Sunday night show, is that Herbert's career is just going the way of Matt Stafford, which
that's been my comp he took that from me for years. Like that's been the comp.
See, I did not know that. Anyway,
that's the trajectory.
But the question is, are you happy with that or not happy with it?
Because, no, but that can change. But that does seem like a very plausible outcome. It can change. Matthew Stafford did not win a playoff game with Calvin Johnson. And like, it's still what the hell? Like, how did that happen? And then they had lean years there after Calvin. And then he finally left. Or he had a couple injury plagued years there. And then he got his glory. That is a plausible scenario. I would still think there's like a full hand of years before we encounter something like that. And things would have to be going bleak at the time. But I can't argue if like that's what it is, because it's hyper talent who, for reasons of his own or the surroundings around him, were just not doing enough. But he's not the only problem. It'd be an easier conversation if he was the only problem. There's a lot of problems, it seems.
Well, before we get to the recap of last week, where we all did very poorly, I have a trivia question for both of you. So, Tim, you can answer first on this one. How many Super Bowls did Wes Welker win?
I would say 0.
Geoff, what would be your answer?
3?
The answer is 0.
Yeah, the Patriots, remember, won those 3 Super Bowls very early. Then they didn't win another one until the Marshawn Lynch not getting the ball at the 1-yard line.
But he was also...
Welker's career was in the middle of that.
But Welker was also on that Denver team that lost to Seattle in the Super Bowl.
I had forgotten that. That's true.
He went to 3 Super Bowls and he didn't win any. It blew my mind. I just assumed he had would Geoff guess 3? I was like, yeah, he probably has 3. But then I forget that him and Julian Edelman aren't the same person. So that's tough.
They are not. No.
Like 2 kind of would have felt obvious. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. That is weird. That's a trip.
Yeah. There's also another one. How many Cy Youngs did Nolan Ryan win?
None
is the answer, which is crazy too.
It's 7 no-hitters, but no Cy Youngs.
I think there was a year he had 21 complete games, 25 wins, and 2 no-hitters, and led the league in strikeouts and didn't win Cy Young. He lost to like a reliever.
Unbelievable. He's like the James Shields of 20 years ago.
James Shields. I remember the year that you finally bid on James Shields in our fantasy league, and then he didn't.
Well, he had like 7 complete games the year before.
Yeah, and then he had 1 to open the year. It was an 8-inning loss. I think he pitched for the White Sox at the time, and you were fired up. They didn't have any more the rest of the year.
Of course I was.
The White Sox traded Tatis for him.
Did they?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big fan of James Shields, or was anyway, when he played.
So, yeah, let's get into the bad news. The recap from last week. The Coin was the big winner last week. 8-5, taking the overall lead in spread picks. Coin. Not watching the games, being smart about it. 8-5, up to 55-50 for the year. I am hanging on now 1 game above 500 at 53-52, because, Geoff, you and I were 4-9. Tim, do you want to venture a guess to what you went last week?
Well, if you went 4-9, I'll guess 3-10.
2-11.
Boom. What a week.
Here's the difference. Difference is I'm losing money. Tim is not.
Well, that's good news for Tim.
The good news is, Tim, you bailed me out. You bailed me out on Sunday night, buddy. Not that I wouldn't have bet Goddard anyway. That was like my brand. But maybe I went a little harder. But I got bailed out by Goddard on Sunday night. for a horrible day. Maybe not even the full roll, but I got bailed out enough, and I can't not give Tim credit for it.
Yeah,
So,
you're welcome. Great, thanks.
Yeah, you've created generational wealth for people 2 of the last 3 weeks on the Sunday Night Show.
Great, and yeah, great. Sure, enjoy.
Well, we're giving you credit.
People can lose their shirt on Sunday afternoon and know they get it back on Sunday Night Football First TV.
And realistically, I didn't even lose last week when you said Paris Campbell because that bet got voided because he didn't play. That was great. 2-0-1 the last 3 weeks on the who's not going to score a first touchdown on Sunday night. Geoff, I actually ended up winning for the week because the prop sniper keeps printing, dude. You got to get in on it.
Yeah, I crushed that. Yeah, no, I lost money.
Yeah, well,
I won money.
I went 0-3 on the best bet show. We'll talk about that tomorrow with Cam and Rob. And we were 0-3 in our super locks. We're all now, Tim, you started 3-0 with the super locks. You're now 3-4.
Yep.
And you lost your teaser too, as well.
Yeah, I have a little slightly different strategy for it this week.
All right, well, I think it's time to get off the mat, pick ourselves up, and get some fucking wins this week. How do you feel about that?
Quite the opposite. I feel like it's going to get worse.
Oh,
And I don't like that there are no bye weeks. I do
It's
not
no
like that.
sense. It makes no sense.
Why did you put teams bye on week 5 and then give the full slate off on week 8?
Yeah,
Who's
why
that for?
Exactly. Who is having everyone playing week? Like, this is a nothing week. Like, there's nothing special going on. It's not like there's an event. Why in heaven's name does everyone have to play this week? It makes no sense.
Oh, I want to point out to the viewers and the listeners is that we will be doing 2 shows next week for this show. So Geoff and I can go be with our kids on Halloween for trick-or-treating because I live in a weird time zone that directly conflicts with trick-or-treating time when we record this. So do you guys want to do it Tuesday, Wednesday, or do it Monday night, Tuesday night?
I would prefer Monday night, Tuesday night, but
yeah, that works for me.
I mean, I think Tuesday, Wednesday would be better, but
okay.
I'll do
no, I can't do Wednesday night.
But in my suggestion, because we did want to work through this, and Tuesday, as Pat mentioned, is actual Halloween, I figured one show we do the early slate with a mini Cust Corner, and then the second show would be the late slate, also with a mini Cust Corner, and the behind the scenes, we can't shortchange next week. There's a Jets Chargers game.
Maybe we couldn't just do a late show Tuesday and just get it done with.
No, because that's Halloween.
But start it late and finish it late.
It'd be really late for you.
Yeah, like by the time that I get my kids in bed after they've been eating candy, we wouldn't be able to start filming until 10.
And then Tim, it's my job also to work the door.
I mean, I'm open to whatever.
I prefer Monday, Tuesday. I think that works out better.
I'll do whatever you guys want.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
Monday, Tuesday works.
We can do up to the later games on Monday, and then Tuesday we can record at our normal time and just finish it in an hour and a half or something.
Sure.
That would work for me. All right, so that's if you're wondering why it's not all in one shot next week, this is why. This is what we're going to do. Thursday Night Football. We got Paul's Buffalo Bills hosting Faker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bills favored by 8.5 in this game. Geoff, is this a get-right spot for the Bills, or is it just going to be, like our picks, as Tim predicted, just plummeting down further?
Oh, boy. I do believe it is a get-right spot for the Bills. At home on a Thursday night, I'm not ready to sell the Bills down the river. I know a lot of people are, and I do worry about the long-term implications of the Milano injury. But I'm not selling the Bills. I will bet the Bills in this spot. Yeah, I don't trust Tampa. I know Tampa overachieved early, and that was expected. Pat, you're all over it. I'm still on them as a fade team.
Yeah, they're a fade team, but now they're an 8.5-point dog in this game, too. And the Bills' offense gets itself together with 5 minutes remaining in every single game, and then they do nothing for the other 55 minutes. And would you say that Tampa's defense is better than the Patriots' defense at this point?
I would. And I don't think we get to call this a get right game. If you struggle with the Giants and lose to the Patriots, those are even more quote unquote get rightable games than Tampa. I don't know. I look at this game and think I don't like either of these teams right now. But I have to say that I think Josh Allen's not the problem. So guess I'll take Buffalo. But like if they lose this game, I don't think the coach makes it out of the week. I'll say that right now. I think McDermott will lose his job if Buffalo loses.
Oh,
what? He has to.
Do we have first coach fired odds at DraftKings Sportsbook?
Yeah, they're around.
If he doesn't go, then Dorsey will go. Somebody has to go if they don't win this week.
Yeah, I don't think it would be McDermott at this point of the year.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
It could be, though. I don't see first coach fired. First coach NFL fired. You're fired! Oh, Staley is actually the favorite at plus 250.
It's just a question of when he loses his job, I think, at this point.
No, because
it's hard to see him finishing the year at this point, unless the Chargers win a bunch of games.
No, he'll keep it all year. They're too cheap to fire him.
Yeah,
sometime in December. Once they're mathematically eliminated, I think that afternoon.
No. I disagree.
He has to go.
I mean, I'm not condoning for him to keep it. The Chargers have never fired a coach in season. We let Mike Riley finish a season once, a 1-15 season.
That was a long time ago, Jeff. I think things are different now.
Yeah, it was the year. It might have been 99.
Yeah,
maybe a little before that.
Most of our listeners weren't born then. Thanks for the relevant reference.
Well, okay.
Do you want to know something?
Hold on. Whoa. Just stop right there. People saw the thumbnail to this show before they clicked on it, Tim, and you were arguing with me that, people get everything before they were born.
They get famous things, not obscure 1-15 San Diego Chargers seasons from the 1990s.
I'm saying they've never fired a coach midseason, and the only game they won that year, Tim, it was versus a Warren Moon-led Chiefs team, and with like 90 seconds left in the game, CBS cut out of it to go to a Debbie Wasserman Schultz press conference in Florida. That was during that whole shit show of that election, 2000. Oh yeah, so that would be the year.
Okay,
I guess I'm trying to date the season.
Which makes sense. It would have been the year they had the first pick overall.
Who's second to be fired, Pat?
So Staley, Rivera, Eberflus, Belichick, Vrabel. These odds these don't seem like none of these things are going to happen. The Commanders aren't going to fire Ron Rivera. They're going to let him coach out the year regardless of how it goes. Unless his neck problem continues to be a thing. He needs more towels to support his neck, like we saw on the weekend. I don't know. Vrabel's not getting fired. That's not happening.
I wouldn't think so.
And Belichick had signed an extension that we heard about, so he's not getting fired. Eberflus maybe. Dennis Allen would be the one I would look at, 10-1.
Dennis Allen 10-1. No.
McDermott's not even on the list. I don't know what site this is from. I just Googled it, but these are terrible odds. Value to be had.
I get Staley deserves to be the favorite, though. He deserves to be the favorite, and if they lose the Bears this week, then I would trade players. I mean that. I would trade players. There's gonna be a lot of players traded at the deadline. Can't beat the Bears. We should be getting in on trading players.
All right, here we are. Here are updated odds from a different site. Ron Rivera is the favorite at 2-1. Staley's the second favorite at plus 250. Josh McDaniels at 4-1. That's probably the bet.
That's the name. That's the one. I couldn't put my finger on.
Paul.
Because Staley's a moron, and his strategy is stupid. But I do feel like there's more strategy watching the Chargers play than the Raiders.
Well, Josh McDaniels is coaching like he's actively trying to be fired. So there's that. Guy loves a field goal.
I will tell you that from the transcript, because as you guys know, they don't give me Mondays. Rest of the league gets Mondays. There's some junior... I don't want to say it wrong because it can come off insensitive. But there is some junior reporter on the Chargers beat from a local black journalism school. And this kid asked Staley if he thinks he's going to be fired yesterday.
Would Stanley
And
say
like,
yes?
I laugh at it, and then I start making fun of like the actual reporters there because I think they're shit and they don't do nothing other than this one guy from The Athletic. But I believe that they all hate him because he just works harder than them and asks real questions. But some guy at the AP got offended when I told him that now he rides Daniel Popper and some kids' coattails.
So you're building a new rivalry with an AP Chargers reporter?
Maybe, yeah. Listen, I think I've been very good. You guys might have a different POV on this. I think from the rivals' perspective, I have been very good. I thought last year my behavior was immaculate, other than I got a little too sauced on Christmas Day and then got into it with Levitan. Other than that, which I still like, I think I'm the
You
custody.
bought an LPGA shirt just to show up the people on a different podcast.
Oh, the day they showed me up, that arrived in the mail. And they treat mailing something to Canada like we're in Siberia. So you should know I didn't order it that day, buddy. And Tim, as a friend, the connectivity of the chain of events on that specific incident is actually really important to me. So I'm offended when you knowingly misconstrue the chain of events there. No, I mean that because that is, I would say I am sensitive about that and yeah. So that's important. That's a clear win. I'll throw a lot of balls. I'll plunk some batters. They'll hit them out of the park versus me. Plenty. But I don't like you playing around with a clear win. I don't appreciate that.
Fair enough. Just trying to win a vote here, Geoff. But I appreciate that. I retract my statement.
Well, you lost that poor guy's vote after Leclerc got DQ'd after the F1 race the other day, Tim.
Apparently, he has some sort of dental problem now too.
Jeez, you didn't know who the guy was 20 minutes before we started watching. Now his career's in shambles.
Passed by 6 cars, DQ'd. That was rough.
Yeah, needs his wisdom teeth out. Paul, I saw your hand up like 20 minutes ago before Geoff started talking about faking getting hoodies.
That's about how immaculately well behaved he was last year.
I think overall I've been good. Paul keeps the list, so Paul will know. Paul is in charge of this, and he could probably remind me of incidents where I'd be like, "Oh shit, maybe I wasn't as well behaved as I thought." But
you yelled at one guy and told him that you don't bet with people who work at Burger King.
What?
It was like 3 weeks ago on Twitter. You got in a fight with somebody.
Yeah,
and then told him, "Look, real people. I don't bet with people who flip burgers or something."
Yeah, but the guy that guy's not worthy of being on Geoff's list.
That sounds like exactly the same thing as when you used to say, like, "Oh, you have 23 Twitter followers. You must be a laugh riot." That's like the same level of thing. Those people weren't your rivals.
No.
I'm curious about this Burger King thing.
Yeah, you go ahead and look at your tweets.
Well, we do see some of your replies to people, but like a lot of those replies are to like random people that like it doesn't make it out into the public sphere. But like we may or may not have like a group chat where we find your most egregious ones.
Oh, dude. See, this is all connected back to that other thing in some ways, Tim.
It is actually, isn't it? Now that I look at it, it actually does connect. It does connect back to that.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this game because the coin and I are going with Tampa plus 8.5. You guys are taking Buffalo minus 8.5 to Sunday.
It's just that Geoff hasn't been as well behaved as he says he's been. That's my only point. He's out here making statements about how well he's been. And now he sees that maybe he hasn't been quite as well on his best behavior as he might have been. That's all. Look at him.
Well, he's the one being accosted in public about how much Justin Herbert sucks.
Listen, that was an unexpected drive-by, man. Like that was I wasn't prepared for that. And I'll be honest, I was way more rattled last week than I was this week about it, which could be weird. So that guy, I was like teetering. Oh, like, I don't know. Yeah, I got like shivved in a walk by.
Okay.
And then we had like a short discussion, but you can't reason. There's some people out there these days cannot reason with.
We're going to chalk that one up to these days. Yes, Paul.
My over 3 hours is looking pretty good through
No,
one
I'll
game.
get this back on track here. I'll steer the ship. New England at Miami on Sunday. The Dolphins are 9.5-point favorites at home. They have played the Patriots at home really well, like historically, but especially recently. When you take a look at the Dolphins, Miami has won all 3 home games in the post-Brady era, and the Pats have managed just a paltry 14.3 points per game in each of those 3. I actually think this is an easier get-right spot for the Dolphins than the Bills on Thursday night. Dolphins at home, playing a team that's under 500. If you take a look at their splits between playing good teams and playing bad teams so far this season, they run train on bad teams, generally speaking. Playing in New England earlier was a little bit tougher, but I think they get the ship righted here this week against the Patriots, and people are like feeling good about the Patriots again. No, the Patriots aren't good. So Dolphins by a ton. I'm picking Miami minus 9.5.
I agree, and I'm going to go before Tim because I'm going to leave him the stage, and I'll tee him up with a question on out here.
You can just do that. You don't have to say what you're going to do. You can just do it.
You're right. My brain, the hamster just is weird.
Jeff's in producing mode here. That's okay.
No, the hamster's weird. I agree with everything Pat said. It feels like a perfect get right spot. I just want to say the discourse about Tua after the Eagles game, like it's so ridiculous. The 3 of his offensive linemen were out. I thought he made like some incredible throws in that game. And Tyreek Hill had a perfect throw that he like dropped and like knocked off his kneecap. I get like people will like stare at what they've done and it'll illuminate like the Josh Allen and the Hurts game, but I don't know, this team is still in a prove it year. Like I think they're doing everything right and they're going to answer the bell in this one. And to be like, is Tua MVP a week ago to then be like Tua can't beat anybody? I feel like it's such a ridiculous discourse and it's not fair. But to Pat, you have to have a great QB to hang with Miami. They got rocked by Hurts. They got rocked by Allen. Herbert was able to hang for a little, still lost. If you don't have elite QB play on the other side, you don't have a chance of keeping up, in my opinion.
What was your tee up to Tim?
Oh, Dolphins Reddit. He probably thinks the Jets are like going to win the division now, right?
No,
like
I don't. I think Miami's got a pretty easy glide path, actually, to winning the division, if I have to be honest with you. They don't play a ton of very good teams. This happens to be one of them. When you don't win the division last year, it means you get to avoid, they still have to play the Chiefs, but they don't have to play the top team in the other division. I think they're actually in a good spot, and they get to play the Chiefs in a neutral field, which is like probably best case scenario for them, or at least just as much as being home. So I don't think the Dolphins have any home field.
What's Reddit saying?
I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Dolphins Reddit this week. I spent much more time in Buffalo Bills Reddit this week.
Oh, what's Buffalo Bills Reddit up to? Just panic
bleak.
mode?
Very bleak. Yeah, not good.
I just clicked on Jets Reddit, and there's just a lot of fins down bad posts. At this pace, Tua hasn't beaten a winning team. Hasn't beaten a winning team might outlast the Dolphins' 23-year playoff win drought. And it's just a picture of him as Clayton Bigsby with, you got any more easy teams? Scratching his neck.
I mean, look, the Dolphins haven't beaten anybody good this year. Didn't beat a lot of good teams last year. That's all. That's a fair criticism. I would have given some advice to the Patriots. The last time a team put J.C. Jackson one-on-one against Tyreek Hill, it didn't work. So I would recommend that you don't do that. That was a bad idea. Yeah, it was a bad idea. It really didn't work. I advise against it.
Thank you for reminding me of that, like little nugget.
I actually thought J.C. Jackson played pretty well last week.
Yeah, he did. And he played okay versus the Raiders as well.
But yeah, maybe maybe give him some help over the top when you're playing Hill. I think the Patriots tend to play the divisional teams by and large better than they play non-divisional teams. So like, I'm not running out to be delighted to take the Dolphins here, though I will. But my strategy this week is for my teaser is that I actually think this is going to be a common sense week, and that there's a lot of the very good teams playing very bad teams. And we're just going to tease down basically all the really good teams to a low number and just roll with that. So the Dolphins are the first part of that. We're gonna
7
tease-
point.
It is a 7-point teaser, and we're going to tease the Dolphins all the way down to 2.5.
Okay.
I think the house crushed it last week.
Oh,
Had to have.
Yeah.
And how do I put this? I feel like people are going to try to get some of their money back doing this, whatever Tim is talking about.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
It's a common sense. This
Like,
is a common sense teaser.
just to look at the board, you can do this pretty easily if you're playing a 7-point teaser. If you want to do it with the Bills, although I think the people are just untrustworthy of the Bills right now, but you could go Bills, Eagles, Dolphins, Cowboys, even though that'd be teasing through 0, but they're there as well, and Ravens. Or Chiefs, if you wanted
And
to.
Lions on Monday night.
Yeah, there's just,
Chargers on Sunday night.
I mean, I didn't bring this up as a part of the Bucs-Bills game, but the one thing that Tampa has done really well this year is actually protect Baker from the pass rush, and that's really where Buffalo's defense is still hanging, like teetering on and doing really well, is that they're still getting to the passer at a very, very high clip, top 5 in the NFL, where the offensive line for the Bucs is protecting Baker at a top 5 clip in the NFL against both the blitz and 4-man pass rush. So something's got to give there, and if the Bucs offensive line can hold, then I see it being a closer game. Anyway, but we're all taking Miami here. But we kind of pointed this out. We made all the picks last week because we all agreed with each other down the board. We basically took like what is quote unquote the obvious side of every game, and I think we lost them all.
Yeah, we
And
joked.
we're probably going to do it again.
We joked as the show ended how I think screwed we probably are.
And we were correct. Philly and Washington. Can't believe Sam Howell's not hurt, would be my first comment about the Commanders, but they're 7-point dogs at home. 43.5 is the over-under in this game. This is something that we've seen a few times that the Commanders have played the Eagles pretty tough. Tim, do you think that continues?
Nope. I don't. Not close enough to cover the number. No, I'm going to take the Eagles. They did play each other close once this year, but they play again in short succession. I am concerned that Howell isn't hurt. I continue to be concerned about Jalen Hurts getting hurt. I shudder every time they run that 4th-and-1 play. Not because I have a problem with it. It's just that he's gonna get hurt. It's an inevitability to put your quarterback into that position and get hurt. They need to stop running it so often. They need to start saving it for when it's really, 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 really necessary, because they're going to get him hurt. If I was an Eagles fan, I would be not too pleased when I see that play run out there, unless it's like the end of the game or a playoff game or something, because you're going to get him hurt. It's foolish, because without him, that team is done for. He's playing very well. He made some great passes on Sunday night, and to be commended for it. I think he's going to win this game. They're going to win this game pretty easily over Washington, and we're teasing down the Eagles to a pick 'em on the ticket.
I'm going to take Washington in this game. Geoff, home dog in division, kind of went smack dab in the face against a lot of these last week, and they all ended up coming through, so I'll probably revert back the other way. But just Philly got their win that they needed to get against, people like Miami. Can their offense be shut down? It's a big primetime spot. Hurts is a bit banged up, and if he can't run to the level that you expect him to run at, I do think this offense is a little bit different. It's just less dynamic, and maybe making him a complete pocket passer in this game will just, Washington may have no answers to it. And AJ
Some teams know how to stop him. Some teams can beat him.
Some teams can beat him. That is true. Washington's pass rush is still quite good. I think that gets kind of masked that they give up so many sacks, but they still do get to the passer quite a bit. So if they can just hassle Hurts a little bit and he doesn't have quite as much escapability as we've seen. And we saw the Jets get some pressure on Hurts too, and it did rattle him a little bit. That I don't think the Commanders are going to come out and light them up or anything like that, but I just see this being a close game. So I'll take the 7.
Yeah, I kind of lean with you, and my reasons are so silly. It's like trying to get cocky or fancy, or trying to just swerve off of trying to pick a game where maybe this favorite won't cover. You listed a lot of good points. While this is a division game, and while they did beat them last year to end their season, so I don't want to diminish that or the rivalry, but I could argue this is a sandwich game for Philly, Pat, as with the big showcase Sunday nighter versus Miami last week. Next week, Dallas Cowboys.
That's a big
So this
one.
feels like a sandwich game. As for the Howell thing, just a coincidence. I own a lot of Commandos in fantasy, not all on the same team. So I watched too much of that, and it's appalling. I would argue to the why is he not hurt is he doesn't seem to take like these crippling big hit sacks. He just takes a ton of sacks.
Yeah, I get on board with that. He's not getting blindsided. Their line is so bad, he just sees people coming right at him. He's like, turtles. Smart.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't have this
turtle.
I don't have this memory of him getting like blown up and like down on the canvas, but he's just getting taken down a ton, and it's sad and awkward watching them play.
So who are you taking?
I think I said the Commanders, but
Okay.
I feel horrible about it. I'm wearing my Eagles green shirt, it seems.
Rams at Dallas. Cowboys are favored by 6 points coming off the bye week. Obviously, the Rams coming off the loss to the Steelers. 45 is the total in this game. One of these teams is the best team in the league against the spread in a certain metric here, Tim. Would you like to guess which team it is and what that metric is?
Well, I'm going to guess one of them is the Rams. But the metric, I don't know. When they are underdogs on the road?
No team has been better against the spread since the beginning of 2021 than the Dallas Cowboys as a favorite. 21-9.
That's interesting.
They tend to beat
The
up.
last two games the Dallas Cowboys have played, they have been very unimpressive.
Agreed.
I mean, I picked them first in our wins pool. I thought the Cowboys were going to go all the way to the title game and have a big season. Yeah, I hope the bye week got them right. I think the spread is perfect, exactly where it is. I have very much. This is the spread this week I struggled with the most because I don't know which way to go on it. I'll take Dallas, but they have been very unimpressive. I wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis even won this game, let alone covered. I think it's going to be very tight for a part of it, but then I expect Dallas to sort of, as I've seen the last couple of weeks, the Rams sort of like in the last 5 minutes of games sort of seem to break down a little bit, that their quick passing game and inability to run with power, I think hurts them. I think Dallas will finally establish and take the game over and win by 7 and cover by a point, and I wouldn't touch this game.
Who's the best unit in this game? It's Dallas defense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
what's
think
the
so.
worst unit in this game? Rams defense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just
I think
picking Dallas at home off a bye.
Yeah, but by the numbers, Dallas has, like a bottom 10 defense. And Dallas is still like top 5 in terms of defense.
Yeah.
I'll take Dallas. We all taking Dallas?
How are the Rams?
Dallas doesn't play very many early games at home. This is a real rarity. And it's
Yeah,
an
I was actually thinking about that when I saw that. How have I know the Bengals and the Colts game, like they beat up Stafford pretty good. Have they gone healthier up front, or have they improved? Because
It did.
Cowboys,
I don't know their actual injury report, but Stafford was under duress a lot of the time. Basically just from TJ Watt in that Steelers game last week. And
yeah, so they're like I mean, they had Herbert running with his head cut off, and Herbert was athletic, could at least move around to try to make plays. I don't know that Stafford's going to be able to do that. But I like McVay. I like the weapons. I'm still taking Dallas.
yeah, I don't think this game's going to get like real money from me when it comes down to it. Because I think Tim's right. 6 seems like a pretty good. Like if it was Rams plus 7.5, I think we'd all taken the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if it was 4, we would all. I mean, we're taking the Cowboys all at 6, so obviously we would have taken them at 4. But it's just been like, oh yeah, that would be in super lock contention kind of thing. So 6 is a good number. Jets and Giants.
New York.
Jets getting some breaks here, playing a road game at home. That's always nice.
Every 8 years. The Giants get it every 8 years too. So, that just happens to be how it works out.
Yeah, but now there's that extra crossover game, so it's probably like twice.
Yeah, it depends on like what year
That's
the
random,
AFC is getting their
but
extra home game. This is a regular scheduled one because we're playing the AFC East this year, but NFC East.
So,
but you're right. It could come happen more often.
What does the spread tell us if the Giants are 2.5 point dogs? Because they can't be getting even the full 2.5 points that you would normally get being the home team because it's the Jets' home stadium too.
Yeah, that the Jets are like a 4-point team, better than the Giants.
Who's the road team?
The Jets?
The Jets are the road team.
I don't know that this actually matters, Pat, but to my understanding, the Jets are not allowed to use their locker room.
That's correct. We have to use the visitors' locker room, as I understand it, which is perfectly fair. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's still, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're visiting. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We're gonna crush.
That's a thing. Because
Giants can't score.
No, they absolutely cannot. But hear me out on this one. Let's say that this was a Jets home game and they were favored by 4.5 points. Do you feel comfortable taking the Jets to win by more than 4.5 points against anyone? Like when I go back and look
comfortable, no.
When I go back and look at the Jets, I weirdly think that they're better suited to beat and cover good teams versus bad teams.
They play really well in MetLife. This game's in MetLife. That's where we play our best football. Sorry, like Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, where are all those games located? In MetLife. Where's this game? MetLife. The Giants managed to score 7 points against that august Washington defense after scoring, 9 points against Buffalo, and Buffalo was dying to give the game away. Like, the Giants are just putrid offensively. Jets coming off a bye. It's a bye after a bye. That's what this game is. Give me the Jets.
Bye after bye. I'm going to take the Giants against the number. Just I much prefer the Jets in an underdog role against the spread. I do think they're the better team, but just I don't know. I can just see this being 17-15, something like that. The Giants could have like a field goal to try to win the game at some point. This reminds me of.
Nah.
I think we all picked the Jets to. I don't think that Geoff did. The Jets to beat the Patriots in week number 3. That was at MetLife as well, wasn't it, Tim?
Week 2.
Week 3.
Yeah, Patriots were my super lock.
No, I'm pretty sure it was in Foxborough because the Jets played at home in week 1.
No, it was week 3 and it was at MetLife.
Okay.
It's just
It was the week after the Jets lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's right. You're right about that.
So I don't know if the Giants pass rush is getting better or they just played Washington, but they were able to kind of rattle Josh Allen a little bit on Sunday night 2 weeks ago. They were obviously in the backfield every play against Washington, as teams do against Washington. That it's that element of it that if Zach Wilson is going to be under duress every time he drops back, now maybe they just run the ball 90% of the time and that just works out to be fine. The Giants don't score any points. There's that path to the game as well. But I feel like Zach Wilson can keep them in this game too, in terms of the Giants.
Oh, Zach Wilson can lose any game he's in. If it weren't for Zach Wilson, the Jets would win this game very comfortably. He always brings that risk in, but I don't know. We're coming off a bye in a good spot. After this game, we go on prime time for 2 straight games. Both games, I think we should win. I'm feeling pretty good about things like that. This is the, and we always thought this was going to be the case. This is going to be the kickoff part of the easy part of the schedule. And so let's just get this train rolling. Get ourselves to 6-3, 6-4 before AR12 comes back, and let's get rolling. He was talking last night on the show on the Manning Cast. Implying that he intends to come back this season, and I have no reason to doubt it. So
he's probably there's probably a quote already out there from McAfee.
Oh yeah, did you not see it today? That quote, he is expressing some frustration after a tough week of rehab, and that his gains are not quite coming along as they were very early on. So now he's throwing a bit of cold water onto everything.
Yeah, good. Thank God.
Maybe he doesn't come back in November. Maybe he'll come back in December. Then I still think
isn't fair. What Aaron Rodgers is doing to Tim is now mean and it's cruel.
I have my hopes up.
It's not fair. You shouldn't. He tore his Achilles.
I know, but now he's telling me he can come back. So, he knows his body better than anybody else.
I know, but he loves attention, and I worry that he's messing with you.
Well, he has messed with me because I'm now completely in. And I'm willing to believe whatever he says about his health. I'm here to believe it, in part because I want to believe it, but also because, some people heal faster than others.
What did you say? For him to play week 10, what?
Not
sorry,
week 10. I was always hoping that maybe the Black Friday game.
So what week is that?
Week 12.
Do you know that means that he would be coming off IR in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
as a friend, I'm sharing this information as a friend.
I know, but Kyler wasn't supposed to come back till December, and he's back probably next week. That's October. So
I
like,
understand, but my point is for him to come back, the window, he wouldn't just be taken off IR and be activated for Black Friday. He would be taken off with the 21-day window.
yeah, that is true.
So for him to play Black, I'm just as your friend. Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
You need to chill out. Is my point on that issue.
Okay.
He did say
As for the fact
hold
that-
on. He did say that he expects to make a big jump in his recovery once he's able to wear a shoe.
I would hope so.
You think the guy's coming back in a month? He can't wear a shoe right now.
I'm only repeating what he says.
And what he's done to you and people like you is honestly cruel in some respects. Because you need to be coming out the other side of this and just being like hopeful for what can be with this team. That every Jets game, to kind of Pat's point, it's almost like a golfer, like when we used to joke about Tony Finau. I'm not comparing the Jets to Finau, but it's like I'd almost rather bet him at a bigger number in a full field, stronger event than in like against a lesser team. I just give me the points. Every game kind of feels like the Jets will make it close. That being said, if the Giants don't get healthy on the offensive line, especially Thomas, Tim could be right about this back-to-back buys.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chargers will be coming. The Chargers are going to be playing a team off 2 straight bye weeks next week.
I mean, whenever Tim says this, it doesn't go well for the Jets when he claims.
And we
it's
get the
bye.
extra rest too. We get to play an early game. Jeff has to play late Sunday. So we get the extra rest.
I
Another
forgot
one.
that's a thing for you, that we are a rest disadvantage on Sunday night and you play at 1.
Yeah, we're done and preparing for you that before you've even kicked off against Chicago.
And the Chargers will have to fly across the country.
That's true. They have to come to New York City, but they play late, so it's a little less. It's not the early game, but yeah. Good luck.
I thought about going to that game. I honestly heard MetLife is just the worst. Like getting in and out of MetLife, you'll just hate your life.
I'm trying to think. Can you take the tram from Newark to MetLife? Like, is there a stop there or a stop around there? Because that would be the way to do it. Fly into Newark, just hop on the tram, the one that I usually take to go to Penn Station, and just like stop at MetLife because it's in between, and just hop off there and just try to get to the stadium. Then you can just hop back on, take a flight back that night.
There's probably a heliport. You can just get a helicopter there.
Fuck off.
Geoff will pay for it in exchange for a voucher to his Thanksgiving buffet meal.
Hey, well, this is it. Yeah, like exactly. Instead of a Christmas dinner, he can trade the ticket for
Can I tell you, I love Christmas dinner because
Hot take.
I love the ham.
Yeah.
No, but the ham wasn't. You don't put out the ham. I was expecting ham at Thanksgiving, but I'm not familiar, I guess, with your customs. No, the ham, the honey glazed, beautiful ham is just a Christmas thing.
I would say I would bet Tim has turkey on Christmas.
Yes, ham is more of an Easter thing for us than Christmas. Though some people definitely do have Christmas ham. That's totally.
But I
a
mean,
thing.
like the Christmas buffet, I assume will have ham.
Yes, that I would agree with. That at that carving station that you'll be going to for $2,300 a plate, there'll be a beautiful honey ham there. Yeah,
Paul,
No,
you
won't be
had
going.
something to add?
I was just curious what Top Cat thinks running a helicopter costs.
oh, probably like $1,000 an hour or something.
Yeah, man.
Way more. I mean,
Really?
I used to do it up in the up a tree planting up in the northern Canadian bush, and I'm sure like this is like probably not the most popular, expensive pilots, and it was like $2,000, and we're talking like 15 years ago. I bet you it's like $4,000 an hour now.
To actually rent or to operate?
Rent and rent, operate, fuel, everything like that factored in. It was like $1,800 an hour. And we're talking like Flin Flon, Manitoba, like middle of nowhere.
Yeah, to get from
The home of Bobby Hull.
Yeah.
to get from
The thing is, I do believe like short chopper rides are more of like an industry in New York.
That's it. Like you fly into JFK and then you just take a chopper from JFK.
But
to
I don't know any.
MetLife. It wouldn't be cheap, but I mean, like it
I'd
might
rather
actually be
stay-
cheaper
Tim?
than some of the tickets you get to the ball
I'd
game.
rather fly to you to watch the game with you and watch you order us dinner.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I'd rather do that than
We'd
go to
find
the
a nice
game and have
place
to
that does.
deal-
Maybe we
deal
can find a place to cater some ham for you, Jeff, since you clearly want some ham. It's on your mind.
Well, I've started to do that for Christmas dinner since I moved back home around my family. Is that my grandma would make this like giant turkey every single year, but then we're just like kind of sick of turkey. Like turkey once a year is fine. So I just started getting like prime rib catered on Christmas, and everyone is like, "This is the move."
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that's the move.
We rent the dishes, we rent the utensils, we rent the wine glasses, and we get the food catered. We go pick it up like that day. It's made. It's perfect. And then you just put all the dishes like back in a box and bring it back to them. And it's just like
That sounds really good.
the cleanup is so easy. You don't have to make the food, and everyone gets to do what they want to do on Christmas, which is spend time with one another.
Which is for me, what I want to do is go through the McDonald's drive-through, but
You can still do that.
maybe
Maybe.
not in some places.
Yes.
As we've had this conversation before.
Well, I mean, you need to move to America. Get out of communism up here.
Yeah, leaving money on the table.
So, Jets or Giants, Jeff?
Jets.
Jets. So me and
Lots of
the
wins
But
coming.
I could lean, Jets. But like Thomas and Jones playing should change perspectives. But Jets for now, for sure.
would it change perspective for you? That like, would you be more confident if Tyrod was playing or if Daniel Jones was playing?
I'm not here for this Tyrod Daniel Jones thing. I unequivocally would stand for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Tyrod hasn't done anything. Like they scored 7 points last week.
No, they scored
what, 9 or
14.
10?
They won last week, by the way, Tim. They scored 14.
So they scored 14 points last week, not 7. They won 14-7. They scored like 9 or 10 against Buffalo with him. Like, not like they're scoring. It's not like their offenses looked impressive under him.
Tyrod,
Good luck.
Jeff, is 20-12-2 as an underdog against the spread in his career. He's like the new Teddy Bridgewater.
Good luck. Sauce and Ward coming back off their concussions and off bye. Like, good luck.
The top post on Jets Reddit right now, Jeff, is, let's see here, the big 3 offseason priorities to win the Super Bowl next season. Bracket, if we don't win it this season.
Yeah.
Bracket.
Okay.
Tim, I assume like you don't feel it because like you're not like, all of us who are fans from a different, in a different city. I imagine this is like a big game locally, right?
Has to be. It has to be.
I don't know. I mean, I'm curious. I know there's a lot of people who watch this in the New York area, in the Jersey
It's a
area.
rivalry game in some weird way.
But I don't feel like it is because when I lived in Jersey, I mean most of the Jersey people were all Jets fans and most of the New York people were all Giants fans. That's kind of like it was the same as like New York people were. I guess like Queens was like Mets fan or we're Mets fans as well. But like Jets and Mets lined up a lot and Yankees and Giants mixed up a lot with how fandom went. But no one really seemed to care like Giants about the Jets or Jets about the Giants. Like the Jets cared about the Patriots and the Jets cared about the Bills and the Dolphins, whereas the Giants fans care about the Cowboys, Washington, and Philly. Like that's the
I don't
rivalry.
hate the Giants.
Yeah,
the
they're
Giants
not
did me a
actual
solid.
rivals,
The
but,
Giants
like,
did me a
when the
solid
game
on
is-
2 separate occasions by winning Super Bowls against the Patriots. God bless them.
when the game is here, I feel like it's just like awkwardly an important game, even though it technically isn't, and there is no rivalry. Like obviously their real rivals are the other teams. And I could be wrong about this, Pat, but the impression that I've always got was that the Giants fans were like like the Wall Street guys, and Jets fans were just like, Fireman Ed and like more like the blue collar dudes.
I think that's right. I think the Jets fans have always been Jets and the Mets for that matter, and the Nets have always been the sort of like more democratic.
I don't think that I
common
know. See,
person.
I would push back on that. No one gives a fuck about the Nets, even in Jersey. Everyone's just a Knicks fan. Even in Brooklyn,
Yeah,
people
the
still
Knicks are the
fans.
thing that unites them all. That's
Yeah.
like the passion.
They
that
maybe
unites
stopped
them
being.
all
They
is-
probably stopped being Nets fans when
Nets,
they left.
I don't think the Nets had many fans, man. It's just like the Devils. The Devils don't really have any fans. People like the Rangers.
David Putty.
Yeah, besides Putty. Fictional person David Putty. Love the Devils for that joke. That was it. The one reason to write him as a Devils fan. So the coin and I are on the Giants. You two are on the Jets. Jacksonville and Pittsburgh is up next. Pittsburgh is a 2.5-point dog at home. Easiest pick of the week might be my super lock. Of course, Pittsburgh's going to cover the spread and probably win the game.
One of the 2 picks I got right last week. because I knew Pittsburgh was going to do weird stuff and win. So Pittsburgh, please.
Yeah, but the
Prove me wrong.
The Steelers are like Boris the Blade from Snatch. They're the sneaky fucking Russian. They just won't die. You think it's the end of them, and there they are once again. It's like, oh yeah, of course they're winning this game somehow. We talked about it when they were down by 7.
They call him the bullet dodger for a reason.
I turned to Tim when we were watching the game. They were down by 7 against the Rams. It's just like they got the Rams exactly where they want them right now, and of course they did. They went by 7.
Yeah, I laughed hysterically watching you and Cam and Rob last week when Rob essentially, to paraphrase, was like, I don't even think they practice. I think Tomlin just works on voodoo like he's Papa Shango. It's incredible what they're capable of. I'm with you because I've taken there've been some wins, but I think for the most part I'm taking it on the chin this year, and it probably won't get nicer. Like when I look at my futures, there's not like, oh shit, something big's happening for me at Christmas. It's like, oh my God, I fucking touted the Packers to the audience in the summer. Boy, am I gullible and stupid. But I kind of joked, but I lost money in the joke, that after the Jags went to the back-to-back England without the bye, lost money versus the Colts, I lost money versus the Saints as a super lock. And I said last week, I think I'm blindly, if they beat the Saints, I think I'm blindly just betting the Steelers. I am now just going to bet against Jacksonville until they lose. If they go on some insane winning streak, I will be in big fucking trouble.
Every metric would say that the Jags are way better than the Steelers. But again, they don't have voodoo on their side. The Jags,
and I like the Jags. It's not even like I think they're bad.
Yeah,
I think they're deserving of their place, but now I'm just almost like playing the roulette wheel of Jaguars football. I don't mean to do this, but I forgot to ask Tim in the last game. If you do lose to the Giants, like, will your psyche be back to the psyche of like 2 weeks ago, or you're still gonna be on this Super Bowl 12 win thing?
Oh, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I've never said since the injury they're going to win the Super Bowl. I still don't think they can. I'll be fine. I expect them to win next week. I expect them to beat the Raiders too. I feel pretty good. Like, I think there's a lot of wins on that schedule. The hard part's over.
The Jets as home dogs against the Chargers is where you want to bet the Jets, I feel like.
The Chargers play poorly this week against the Bears.
The Chargers will be favored?
Yeah, the Chargers will be favored.
Unless they lose to the Bears this week, then they will not be.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's say the Jets win by like 12 and the Chargers barely cut a touch between a touchdown and like 7 to 10 points. Do you think the Chargers would be favored versus the Jets on the road?
Are you saying that if the Chargers beat the Bears by 7 to 10 points or lose by 7 to 10 points?
No, like win, but like it wasn't impressive.
If the Chargers cover their 8.5 points, they will be favored against the Jets on Sunday or on Monday night.
By more than a field goal?
No, probably not. Like 2.5.
And listen, I don't.
Even if it opens Chargers, it'll be bet to the Jets.
And I'm not even going to play the game of. I don't even know what the advance is, and I don't want you guys to look at it because you do it genuine on Sunday night. So
you should let Pat. You should let Pat look at it. Give him a chance.
It's true. Tim rattled off like 5 exact right in a row. It was like, I'm done. Guess who? I had to bring in a cooler for you, Tim, on Sunday night.
Oh no, who is it?
Garion.
See, that's not fair because Garion is so good at that game. It's not right.
Why isn't it fair?
Because Garion happens to be excellent at this game.
What do you mean? It's
not fair.
But we're all working off. You're all working off the same information.
Yeah, but the guest is just in once in a while to do the game. It's a Pat and I competition that the guest gets to participate in, right? The guest has never won it, I don't think.
Garion did week 1.
Did he win it or just like came close?
No, he won.
That's because Garion's too good at this game.
Yeah, I think he won.
Oh, great. So Garion's going to come in fired up about the Dolphins having beaten the Patriots by like 40 points.
And you're going to be sad because the Giants beat the Jets.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. He'll be happy because for some reason the World Series is taking Sunday off. So he won't have to worry about a ball game.
The coin is taking Jacksonville. Of note, per DVOA, Geoff, The Jags have a top 5 defense. That's really what's been their difference maker this year, is how good their special teams and defense have been. Because their offense, well, it has names and fantasy guys, has been pretty average. Like, I have no faith in their offense. They just get stalled at the worst times.
I mean, I don't know if the Saints are like just extra slow, but it did look like the Jags players were flying to the football.
Yeah, but the Jags tried to give that game away.
Yeah.
They also come. Doug Peterson apparently comes from the Brandon Staley school of 4th down as well. It's 4th and 1. It's from a draw. There's a move. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, but no one in football. I've yet to see anyone claim to make their chops on defense and consistently be like 14 yards off the ball on like 3rd and 6.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that. There was who was this game? Jaguars
And Steelers.
Steelers. I don't know. It was a comment about the Jags. Doesn't matter. Wouldn't have been important.
Okay, so I feel like we are now onto the trap game of the week. Minnesota and Green Bay. I'm going to take Green Bay +1 at home. Green Bay sucks. Like, they're really bad. But I'm just going to, I've got Pizzola in my head too much. Like, oh, this doesn't matter. Everyone's on one side. Everyone is going to bet the Vikings in this game because there's no reason not to bet the Vikings in this game, right? Who is taking the Packers? Who would take the Packers?
Not me.
What sort of logic could get you to the Packers outside of
the Vikings win?
They're
like
4
going to be
in the playoffs,
like a playoff caliber team. Yeah, they and the Rams are like one of the teams. Like, seems impossible. I don't know how long Justin Jefferson's out for.
2 more
if
weeks.
It's the whole season or just a couple more weeks. Like
2 more weeks.
The Vikings have an opportunity here with like the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC, probably to be a playoff. Like, they saved their season last night. That's not an exaggeration to say they saved their season. The Packers played games close by and large. It should be an excellent game. This is a very good spread because it's. I could pick either team in this spot, but I'm going to pick the Vikings simply on the basis of I think Green Bay has got real trouble, and I think the Vikings have less trouble. Vikings are sort of ascendant. The Packers are descendant. I think the line is fair, but I'm going to go with the Vikings.
The home team has swept this series in each of the past 2 seasons, Geoff, outscoring the road team 135-65 over the past 2 years.
Well, you see, Pat, we're all betting this game at different numbers. So it doesn't matter what they're on. I might have a pick 'em and they have +1. Same fucking number, dude. It's the same fucking number. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I was talking about.
Vikings.
I don't.
The Vikings.
That is going to be addressed, Geoff. I am sure.
No, listen. Rob would put me into a box.
I knew that this was going to happen. As
Rob
soon as he said last week,
as
soon as last week he dismissed your Sharps theory. As soon as he openly dismissed your Sharps theory, I knew that you'd be right back on the horse, having something to say.
No. Listen, I know what you're talking about. I was just reading a direct tweet from someone who I think bets pretty sharp. So you're right. To that question I raised last week about sharp records, I don't know what formula determines what formula is being used to determine what games were the sharp side. I would assume line movement, but I didn't deep dive that. Yeah, I do think sometimes when everyone's on the side matters. And I do agree that it's best to lose as little money as possible. And we remember the games where the half points played a role, but I'd say like 94% of the games, they don't. And that's why they'd advise you to never buy them, because they don't.
So new rival. Is there a new rival
Yeah,
from
really.
that list?
Never. You guys wouldn't, dude. Never. Me and Rob are. I got to get on Rob because I need to. Me and Rob got to go. I got to meet Rob for lunch. Maybe next week. We're gonna have Panzerottis.
Don't know what that is.
Like Panzos at a good place like near him, and like
I don't know what is that. What is a Panzerotti? I've never heard of that.
It's like you know what a Panzo is?
It's like a pizza pop, but actually good.
Yeah, it's like a pizza pot, but made at a real pizza place.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure it's good, but
And it's like the size of a football.
Why would you besmirch Pizza Pops? Pizza Pops are amazing.
I didn't besmirch them. I just said
You just
imagine-
did. You besmirched Pizza Pops. I love Pizza Pops.
I like a good pizza pop too.
I don't think you do.
No, I do.
Because if you liked them, you wouldn't come out and just take a needless shot at them. They
I'm
didn't need to come.
saying
You could have said they're like a Pizza Pop, and that'd have been fine. No, you had to say they're like a Pizza Pop, but good, indicating you don't think
That was
they're very
me.
good.
That was Paul.
That was me who said that, and I
Geoff laughed at it.
I can't
Geoff
eat.
laughed and endorsed it.
I can't eat either of them, but I stand by that as true. If you get like an
Yeah, you
actual
people have lost.
panzerotti, there's
People
no
have wa-
comparison.
Well,
And you can
that
get-
would be good
Tim,
in an air fryer.
Tim,
Pizza
no,
Pop.
but here's the difference. Yeah, you can fry. People get their panzos fried, or you can get it baked. But oh yeah, they're delicious. And there's a gem spot near Pizzola. It's where like a lot of the working men go in an industrial part of town.
Do they bully Rob?
What?
Do they bully Rob, the working men in his area?
Nerd.
I don't know. And there's no rivalry. I would never enter a rival. Pizzola would literally put me in a box, seal it, put postage on it, and ship me away.
He says that he would never want to have a rivalry with you because you never forget these sorts of things, and you would not be a person to want to have a rival.
I've known Rob a long enough time where, like, yeah, I'm sure he's still like we could talk about things, but don't underestimate Rob's vindictive soul. Like, he was like way, I don't want to say angry. He was like way more intense about like making sure that I declared my allegiance to him versus like other people in a previous workplace. And that's like a level I never get to. But I think Rob is incredibly bright, and not only is he way smarter than me, but I could never articulate what I want to say properly, and I would be dummied. He would dummy me. So all of those things, that's all like jokes, but I think
I'm more upset about you just besmirching Pizza Pops, to be honest with you. People love those things.
I like the Pillsbury ones.
That's what the ones I'm thinking of too.
Yeah,
in
but
the
they're
orange
different.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the ones. Yeah, you know.
Green
Man,
Bay or
those are
Minnesota, Geoff?
I have to take, I agree. Like, this feels, it's not real money, but I'll be stupid in the pick 'em. I'll take Minnesota, but it makes no sense. The world just watched them play great against the 49ers. Maybe the 49ers gave it away, but they cost a lot of people a lot last night. I'm sure of it.
Well,
So people are going to go to them.
The 49ers are now 0-2 since Tim declared he doesn't see how they don't go undefeated.
They might not lose another game. That might be the last time they lose this regular season, looking at that schedule. I mean that too. Like, they had a little bit of a blip. That happens. Teams sometimes do have a little bit of a swoon, and then they jump right back. I mean, I'm not making any playoff predictions, but through the end of the season, the 49ers might not lose another game.
Can I say one more thing about Rob?
Sure.
Is it good or bad? If it's bad, then yes. If it's good, nah.
It is good, and I'm going to say it. I like from the guys that I assume are actual professional bettors. Like, I know him personally. There's people on the internet that claim they are. I don't. But what I really do like about Rob is he's not one of these pros that I believe like freaks out on the internet over a ref or a bad call. Like he takes the in-game variance. He seems to be like far more aware of the realities of that than it seems like a lot of his peers are.
I
like that a lot.
I don't know if I agree or disagree. I think the people that are actual like professional bettors, I think that most professional bettors you just don't hear from in general.
Agree.
That if you've been betting professionally on the NFL for an extended period of time, you've seen this all. Like, this isn't anything new. This is a direct result of people who are new bettors, is all this is. Like, Levitan put out a tweet about the Bijan Robinson thing the other day. I thought it was very well said. I thought it was well measured. And I read the replies to it. It was like, oh my God, these people need fucking serious. I read the replies to a tweet like that, and there are people following Levitan. Levitan's a smart guy. I assume that they listen to him or read him or do whatever. And like, based on the replies, I don't know how these people function in society.
To that, I will only say, Pat, I was as entertained by a couple of my friends losing their minds all through Sunday around me as I was the games actually on TV. And these are well-measured individuals, I assume, with like good normal jobs that have nothing to do with the sports, Twitter, content, betting, anything. And I had buddies like losing their reasoned human beings, like literally like losing their minds all Sunday afternoon.
Well,
nothing in that thread could shock me, I guess.
Did you know, Geoff, that the books and Arthur Smith colluded to keep Bijan out of the game because too many people had bet overs on Bijan Robinson?
Imagine betting overs on a guy who's been in a full-blown timeshare with Tyler Algier all season. Social media running back. That's what he is this season. It's insane. Every like fantasy tout told you to draft him in the first round, and they're just like, oh, look at this clip. He's so good. It's just like he splits carries with like a very mediocre guy that you could have gotten in the last round. It's insane.
I think it's very well said.
But here's the thing. If people heard that he had a tummy ache, I don't know that many people, unless you heard his role was going to be significantly reduced, people changing much?
No, I think that there is something to the, if that was disclosed to Arthur Smith the night before, that it should have been a part of the injury report, because that's how the process is supposed to work, and they should be fined if that's the case. But I think that if there's collusion between the books about a prop that people bet fucking $10 on, I don't think that's going to be the case. Sorry.
Yeah, that's crazy talk. That is crazy talk. That being said,
I'm pretty sure DraftKings refunded every Bijan bet in like good faith.
Do you think that the league is going to set an example?
No.
There?
No, I don't think so. I have one.
No, because like teams will just stop being as honest and forthcoming as they are if you're going to really squeeze them. Like if I were running a team, I would give as little information as I can get away with possible.
You do with the
I
Patriots.
don't owe that information. Exactly. I don't owe that information to anybody.
Everyone's questionable.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do I care if people need it for their DFS? If I'm running an NFL team, do bad. Them some breaks. Don't
bet
pick my
unders.
players.
Bet unders.
Yeah, people are allowed to bet unders. That's
bet unders. You're not entitled to an encyclopedic knowledge of every game beforehand.
Well,
like,
there is. I mean,
you're not entitled to it.
That is the one thing where the NFL has been more proactive than any other of the leagues. That they do want that information out there because so much of their business is derived from both the engagement of fantasy football, daily fantasy, and now sports betting. That they don't want to have. That's why the collusion thing would be absolutely insane, because that would actually prevent it from happening. If something like that were to come out, then there would be like real legislation against it, which they definitely do not want, because that's where all their money's coming from now.
And the limits on player props are
it's not where
just
all their money.
fraction.
The league makes what they're worth.
Sure, but when you're looking for new ways to increase your revenue, and you already have your giant TV contract, like, well, what else? Well, here comes sports betting. All right, how about the most bet-on sports league there is? Oh, you can't do that anymore. They wouldn't enjoy having that money taken out of their pockets. And Paul's right. There's limits on props. People aren't dropping $100K on a prop. They're not allowed.
What they should
do
if
because
they
props
were
are so much more susceptible to being played with.
If they were gonna
I'll tell you this,
do
props
stuff.
props is where like that feels like I'm going back to it, but props is where like people literally are betting different numbers.
Yes,
like to the whole
absolutely.
Like,
hey, just talk to anyone who has the prop sniper. We did it with James on the show. The best bet in the prop sniper for Sunday was Mahomes over 25.5 rushing yards. He ended up betting it at 29.5, and Mahomes took a knee at the end of the game to run out the clock to finish with 29. If you can get in early on a good prop, I mean that's what ends up getting you limited on props. But at the same time, you can beat the market by like 10 yards on some.
And to this notion with the injury reports, I'm not an NBA like person. I don't even know if that's a thing. I see that it's starting tonight. And can I tell you guys, I heard that they put in a rule where players have to play 65 games in a year. And to me, no one pays more and gets less than NBA fans. From the paying public to the people who pay to show their games. This 65 game thing, that's going to be the norm now. Like stars and agents are going to be like 65 games is going to be the norm of how many games the guys are going to play, not the exception.
Yeah.
Maybe I read the rule wrong, but they're crazy over there.
No, they have to play that much to be an awards consideration, I believe. I think that's what the limit is.
No. See.
Like you can't make first
I
team.
said
You can't
not
make
an
first
NBA
team,
guy.
Yeah, you can't make like first team All NBA if you only played like 50 games or something like that. I think that's. Believe that's what it is. But I mean, they in the NBA for the NBA, Mayo Media Network every Wednesday and every Friday. Ship Nation's going to be doing a live show for the betting and DFS slates those nights on Mayo Media Network, completely free. What did Tambo tell me? 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays and Fridays. We're going to have the live show. They're going to be doing the content for that completely free. It's going to have a live chat if you want to get in there. What?
It debuts this week?
Yeah, it debuts tomorrow on Mayo Media Network, so be there. I just noticed people on Run the Sims won a whole bunch of money on Monday Night Football. The Sims loved Addison, so that would make a lot of sense on Monday Night Football. Let's move on. Houston, Carolina is up next. Both teams off a bye. Houston 3-point dog at home. 43.5 is the over-under. The coin is taking Houston. Are we all taking Houston? I really want to take Carolina, but I have like legitimately no reason. Wright gave up play calling. That could be something.
You know they haven't even covered a spread this year?
They covered against New Orleans in that Monday night game.
I think they pushed it.
Oh, they did push it. That's right. But when it opened, it was 3.5.
Yeah.
And then they ended up losing by 3, and that's what the game settled on. But yes, everyone who smashed New Orleans early or smashed Carolina early won their bet.
Carolina, but wow, what a bunch of losers. And I'm not going to say what I always say. They're staring it in the face.
Would that cost Frank Reich his job, Jeff?
They're
Could he
still
be a
paying
one and done?
Rule for 2 more years.
Could
Or
he
maybe
be
they
a
got
one-
out of that a lot because he took. But I bet
They're-
you he took
they're
so
GM,
little money
yeah,
at Nebraska to make the Panthers owner like pay the juice. But I don't know
got
the
a lot
details.
he's got a lot of money.
I know, but that would be 3 head coaches. And I assume he's not gonna, if he fires Wright, like, does this guy strike you? I know he likes to be involved, but I don't think he's gonna hire like a rookie head coach who's like happy to have a job. He seems like he would want to make a splash. So it would be 3 highly paid head coach contracts at one time. I would be shocked if he fired Wright, but if you're not low, you're not low.
I'll take Carolina.
Shocked is probably a strong word. I
I'll-
shouldn't be shocked if he fires Wright. I
Yeah.
shouldn't.
If you got endless amounts of money, who cares? I'll take Carolina as well, +3. Against my better judgment, I'll do that.
I will too. And if they don't cover, I think
I'm
they're
taking
going to.
Houston.
I think
What?
if the Panthers really play badly, like if the Panthers get routed in this game, they're not going to win all year. This is it. I think this is their Waterloo.
It's
they
like an
gotta win here.
office pools pick, but I'm not being on the, like, we're not sweeping the board Carolina.
Well, the coin took Houston.
Does that count?
I mean, the coin's currently
Yeah.
winning, so
Okay, fine. I'll
Jeff,
take Carolina
another,
with
another rival.
I'll take Carolina with you, Goombas.
it's not going to be fun. I like Stroud so much. I kind of hope he just kind of lights them up, but
Me too. But that's sort of it for me and my tolerance for the Carolina Panthers.
yeah, but you have
But
to
that's
remember.
true.
You have to remember too. Like, remember the Falcons were like 5-0-1 ATS. Like, now is the point of the year when you have those really strong ATS teams that there will end up being 1 or 2 outlier teams on either end. It happens every year. You'll see like a 13-4 team against the spread, but most of these teams that start out with huge winning records against the spread just normalize as the season goes along, as the numbers get sharper and we get more information. That if Carolina is 0-5-1 ATS, they're not going to go 0-16-1 against the spread. They're going to get spread wins somewhere, even if they don't get real wins. So hopefully it's this week. Atlanta and Tennessee. What?
I was just gonna say this game, even though it's like ugly, the dynamic of the first 2 picks in the draft, like I'm as fascinated in this game as I am in any game on the morning slate. And that probably shows how pathetic I am. But that draft narrative is like, I love that shit. That's like in my blood.
Atlanta and Tennessee. Tennessee is a 2.5-point dog at home against Atlanta. Doubtful Ryan Tannehill, and Mike Vrabel said today that if Tannehill doesn't play, that we'll get Malik Willis and Will Levis under center at different points throughout the course of this game. So that's
finally
always
the
fun.
2 QB system is finally coming into effect.
Yeah, but I'm for the 2 QB system when you play both quarterbacks at the same time to really screw with the other team. That's
Maybe they will. You won't even know who's taking the snap.
And well, Derrick Henry might take the snap, and you have 2 big blockers out there for him. Run
want
wishbone with
nothing.
Run wishbone with 2 quarterbacks and Derrick Henry. Boom, you're off to the races.
I want nothing with what the Titans are selling. And they play on a short week because they play on Thursday night. I want nothing of what the Titans are up to. I'll just simply blindly go the other way.
I like Tennessee in this game a lot. We've been seeing it the past few weeks, Jeff. AFC over NFC when you're dealing with like middleweights, and I'll take Tennessee.
Who do you think is better? This might be a dumb question, but Tampa or Tennessee?
Tampa.
I'd say they're about
They
the
have
same.
playmakers. Tampa have playmakers in the way that the
It's pretty
Titans
close,
really don't.
though, or no?
Yeah, I'd say it's
It is
probably
close.
pretty close. I think they do different things well. Like, for example, I mean, Rob did point this out when I tried to make this point, and he was right that Tampa Bay's run defense isn't as good as maybe I thought, but their pass defense is okay. It's sort of the opposite for Tennessee, who has a very good run defense, a very bad pass defense.
I'm also coming around on Atlanta very quickly.
Oh, good.
The more I
Tennessee-
watch them, the more I watch Atlanta, the more I think this team is much better than I thought it was going to be.
Do they get
It's impossible to feel that way watching them because
You know what it is? Because they make stupid mistakes. But you're like, man, there is so much skill on this team. If they could just do 1 or 2 things differently, my goodness. Like every game, you're like, they could be in any game.
there are a lot of college all-stars. on
They
that
are, which is why they're exciting to watch. And it's like they won last week and they turned the ball over in the red zone multiple times. Like they were all over Tampa last week. And Tampa's better than this team.
Did you know Vrabel is, I know it's not the biggest sample, but 5-0 ATS off a bye in his coaching career.
He's the new Andy Reid.
He is he's a quality coach. You give him a few extra days, an extra week, he will have his team prepared to play. I mean, this are there more than 7 games? Because this game might
Yes.
have a
There's 16 games this week, so it's a backloaded.
I am
front
know
loaded
what the-
schedule.
I'm looking very forward to like stacking up Ritter in daily fantasy this week and watching him throw like.
I think
8
Ritter
picks
will
or
be good.
something. So do I, but that means he's going to turn the ball over 8 times inside the 5-yard line or something like that.
Ritter in London would be a nice stack, I think.
I would tend to agree with you. They're pretty cheap as well. And the one thing against Atlanta here,
And you can afford Henry to come back on the way through.
I mean, you could do it with the 2 most expensive players and afford Henry on the way back, on the way through. Then you just have to save money elsewhere. You can usually take the 3 most expensive guys if you want to, Tim.
Eh.
When you say "and," do you mean like no, you can't do that, or no, like that's blowing your mind?
I was like, I don't know. That may be true. I have no answer to that because I don't know if it's true or not.
The Falcons are 3-12 against the spread, Jeff, in their past 15 games coming off a win.
I'm taking Tennessee, but I don't feel great, and it's not going to have real money.
New Orleans and Indianapolis. Indianapolis is favored by 1.5 at home. I'm going to use the same logic for this one. I think the AFC South is better than the NFC South, and I will just take Indianapolis, not getting enough against the fraudulent Saints, who just continue to underwhelm every week.
Yeah, I like the Saints. I don't think Minshew can play well 2 weeks in a row as a starter. I know that doesn't sound like great logic, but I sort of made the case on Sunday night too that I like when the Saints go on the road indoors. I think that's a significant plus for them. It's a short number. The Saints showed some real life at the end of that Thursday night game. Probably should have won it. Yeah, I'll take this Saints. I don't love it though.
I'm going to take the Saints, and I'll tell you something even crazier I'm going to do. I'm going to bet them to win the division plus 200.
I mean, that doesn't seem so crazy. They're 2-1 to win the division.
Crazy. It was more crazy when you backed them last year.
Yeah, I'm dumb enough to believe if wow, this is going to be bad. If Carr is healthy, I do see them getting better through the season. Like just more cohesive, as Pat has alluded to, maybe they'll run more than 2 concepts. Like I feel like they'll improve on a lot of things. That being said, scary, that 20-point thing streak on defense we talked about forever. The Jags and the Texans back-to-back weeks busted that pretty good.
Yeah, unders have only the Giants, who are at a 70% clip, have a higher cash under rate than the Saints since the beginning of 2021. And unders are actually have cashed in 10 of Indy's past 15 games when they've been favorites. So probably don't expect a ton of points in this game. Can you turn your mic up a little bit, Geoff, or talk louder?
But yet the Thursday night game went over the number.
It did. Yeah, that's correct.
I didn't think it had much of a chance, but it sure did. I think this one goes over too.
Yeah, I mean, I would not have predicted that the highest scoring game last week would have been Indy-Cleveland, but here we were.
No, I wouldn't have picked that either.
Well, that gets us to the midway point of the show. I do want to point out once again to you good people out there, help us out on the Apple Podcast side. And, if you don't finish the episode, just scroll to the end anyway and let it play to the end. I'm trying to test something. And, Geoff, the Fantasy Golf World Championships are open for registration. This year's race for the Mayo Cup, the entry fee has gone up. We had a debate of whether we should expand the pool of players eligible to play or keep the price the same. We decided to bump it from $125 for the year to $200 for the year, but keep it at $4,444, which means first prize is now $80,000.
Come take my money.
You gotta have up to 5 entries.
I'll usually stop making picks pretty early because I suck.
The link is down in the description if you want to register now. I recommend that you do, mainly because people forget to do it. Then, after it starts, can I still get in? And the answer is no. You can't still fucking get in after it started, you moron. But, hey, you have time. You have 3 months to get in. You may as well just do it now if you want to play, all right? But we are at the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a mini version of Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
This week's one will be sort of a hodgepodge because I don't have any one big theme, to be perfectly honest with you. There's 3 little things I'm going to hit on. 2 of them are directly, pointed at Jeffrey.
Oh,
and then the first one is, as we learned this week on Twitter, Geoff hates Halloween. Hates it. He thinks it's awful. He thinks all these people who are having lots of fun, who are decorating outdoors and making it a fun festival. Geoff explicitly endorsed the idea on Twitter that he is not a fan of Halloween.
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You finish your point, but I'm not.
My point is, how can you possibly not vote for somebody who hates a holiday like Halloween? An inoffensive, fun day. Defend yourself, Geoff, because I think you have a lot to defend yourself for here.
What'd he say?
Go ahead. Let him speak on his own behalf if he can collect himself here.
I didn't even see this on Twitter.
I responded to a Christopher Powers tweet.
You did.
About I agreed with Christopher Powers that when did Halloween, I almost want to find the direct thing, but I feel like people in the neighborhoods have taken way too many liberties with the Halloween decorations. Christmas is the decoration month. It is where you do it all up. 1 month of Halloween decorations is insane. It is excessive. I'm also against dogs in costumes. I don't think they're comfortable. It makes you happy. They're probably miserable. It's a unappreciated, under-discussed form of animal cruelty. Separate discussion from that, though. That's a side thing.
Stop trying to win brownie
Halloween.
points. You call Halloween decorating, quote, it's ridiculous, end quote.
Yeah,
when it
it's
comes
ridiculous.
to people decorating
What's
their
going
houses.
on my street?
Yeah, but he was I'm reading it right now. He was talking about it in the context of it going on for a month.
Yeah, I
That's
love
okay.
Halloween. My kids are going to have a blast. They can have all the candy.
You wish they weren't, though. Obviously, you wish the season was canceled. That seems to be.
Now you are.
Or should it just happen like the day of? People should just put up a jack-o'-lantern the day of.
You're sounding really desperate to try to not win Most Insane.
No, which is like
you're trying to antagonize a point he's not making.
No, he's making a very Grinch-like point.
Not really.
Which is that, like, yes, it is. So in his world, people should just like put up a jack-o'-lantern the day before, give out candy, and that's it.
Yeah.
No one should have any fun or whimsy with the season.
How many decorations do you have up already, Tim?
Tons.
Really?
Tons. I'll text you some right now if you don't believe me.
I will. I'd like to see what you have up.
I'll just send you a text of one of the tables in my house that I've decorated for Halloween.
You may have hit a sore spot here, a nerve here. I guess Tim is like very pro Halloween, despite the fact that he won't give out full-size candy bars.
Tim is like a new level. Of course this is personal. I'm making fun of people excessively doing up their yards at the beginning of the month. And now like there's so many things on my street. And then my kids look at me like, what's your lazy fucking problem?
Yeah, well, what is your problem? Put some Halloween stuff up. Have some
you're
fun.
Decorating a table inside.
Well, that's what I have.
Paul?
In support of Geoff, I was talking to my brother 2 weeks ago. I was talking to my brother 2 weeks ago about this. I drove by in his neighborhood. There was somebody with their whole lawn covered with decorations and stuff. I'm like, who are these people? And is there a room in their basement that's dedicated to Halloween decorations? Because it was insane. I'm totally with Geoff. Christmas is the decoration. It's a season rather than a day. Simmer down a little bit. It's about the kids. Just give them some candy. You don't need all these decorations. It's weird.
Tim, it says that these pictures are from September 9th.
That's when I decorated. Damn it, I didn't know there was a date on them.
Oh my God.
I got so excited for the season. I can't believe I had the dates on them. Oh no. Oh no.
When were they up, sorry?
September 9th. You put them up week 1 of football?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. I got super excited because it was the fall season. I put up my Thanksgiving and my Halloween stuff that week.
Vote for Tim.
And that's just a smattering. That's just
you're
right.
Right.
Oh, I got more.
No wonder he was acting so offended.
I got that's not even it. I could send you some more stuff here. I could send you a photo of my kitchen table.
I just sent these to you in Slack, Paul, if you want to put them up. I mean, they actually, I mean, the second one looks like a very sad looking little table. But the first one's quite nice. The first table that you've up. You've had these up for 2 months?
Yeah, it makes me, I decorate forever. I just sent you some more. I decorate for and that's not everything. That's not even including my kitchen, all kinds of stuff. I decorate for everything. I have decorations in my place for Valentine's Day, for St. Patrick's Day, for Easter, and obviously for Christmas and the fall, Thanksgiving, Halloween. I think these things bring joy to people. It makes me really happy to be able to see. Yeah, that's my table at my place. That's like a wash basin, an old wash basin. Yes.
However,
and that's
here's the thing. I don't have. I guess I'm neutral in this one because my wife has a bunch of stuff up like bats for the kid. The kids helped her put them up, but we don't have a bunch of stuff outside for it because that would be Pat territory, going to put stuff up outside. I just couldn't be bothered to do it. So we have a jack-o'-lantern. We just have a pumpkin that's uncarved outside. Some fake spider webs that my wife keeps in the basement because my wife is very much like you when it comes to decorating. She loves decorating the first opportunity because she really enjoys it, just like you really enjoy it. What Geoff's getting at is that there is now a societal pressure for him to go up and do his house like it's a fucking haunted mansion.
Baby.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to.
Hardship that must be.
He doesn't want to.
Dude.
That must be.
Sorry.
What a hardship.
These inflatables for Halloween, get out of town. Get out of here. I am sorry.
Paul, instant hand up. Yes, Paul.
Can I point out that on this table, he has candy that is sitting there, but where he lives, he doesn't even have kids come to his door. So he
it's
literally,
for me, and it's for visitors.
He has walk-by candy available since September 9th.
It's for me, and it's for visitors.
Tim.
I feel very seen.
Tim, I've never been to your place. How many visitors do you have on a regular basis?
Not many.
Is there any candy left in that bowl?
Yes, it's been replenished.
So for 2 months, you've had this up.
You know what? Yes, I have. And you know what? I wasn't going to get into it, but it makes me really happy to come home and see the house decorated in a seasonal way. I have mugs for the seasons. I have placemats. I have it all. You know why? Because it makes me happy. Because I like this stuff. Because like life is too short.
Yeah, but you know what? Hold on. I'm not going to take anything away from you being happy. You do what you want to do in your house. But at the same time, Geoff can do that for his house as well. And now you're putting unfair pressure on him, calling him a Grinch because he's not a lunatic, putting stuff up 2 months in advance.
Geoff could put up a couple of things the first week of October and it would be no hardship.
You know what? You own a home and you do what you want. Geoff can do that with his home.
And what you don't get to do is basically just demean the people who have decided to get into the spirit of the season and decorate. It really feels like, you know, it's really a sour grapes position. It sounds like that you're taking. It's the same of like, I don't want people giving up full-size chocolate bars because it looks bad on me. I don't want people to decorate and go all up for Halloween because it looks bad on me. Now, I think that's
excessive. It's a little ridiculous.
Main character
it's
thinking,
a slippery
if you ask
slope.
me.
The slippery slope of lawn Halloween timeline is gotten out of control. That's what I was agreeing with. And I think I didn't. There's a big difference between, I would say, like voicing your, like, I just agreed with someone else's tweet, Tim.
Yeah, you triggered,
but beyond,
you triggered poor Tim.
I was very upset by it when I saw it and made note of it to talk about, because I was like, Geoff hates Halloween. Okay.
See,
I think that's a really good job by me.
I agree with you.
That.
It looks
that
like you went to
good.
It looks like you went to Winners or TJ Maxx and got some.
There's table scatter on there.
Life, love.
That one's good.
Like,
this one is just
like,
an excuse to have candy lying around. Like you
like
can just go to your
little
drawer.
Etsy. It's like his own little Etsy collection of decorations.
It makes me happy. I like it.
Hold on, with that pumpkin that's up. Did you make that pumpkin?
Which pumpkin?
Well, the one that's on the screen right now, the one with like the green handle, like the smiley face.
That one is I bought that and it's now currently outside on the number of my apartment, but I was too full of shame to put it out in September, so I waited until October 1st.
Now, why were you full of shame to put it out?
I didn't need to be judged by the Geoffs of the world who don't like it when people celebrate holidays early and look down on those of us who get into the festive spirit of the year. I hate the summer because you don't get to do any of this stuff. One of the best parts about the fall and the winter is that that's where all the cool things happen. You get to decorate and have cool stuff.
I like how you started this out with, I have a vote to win here, and the tables turned on you pretty quickly.
I think people will find what I have said here to be incredibly endearing and charming, and find Geoff's position to be grouchy and miserly. And if that is the ballot question for this vote, I say bring it on.
Well, I would agree with you that Geoff does seem more grouchy than you, but the moment that I thought it was like I thought at first it wasn't your house, that you saw something on September 9th that you sent me, that it wasn't your own home that you were putting up Halloween decorations on September 9th, but you really got technology really got the best of you there.
It did, but I don't deny it.
No, how would you deny it? It says it right on the picture.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I wasn't gonna get into the day. It wasn't germane to the question. But yeah, no, I did. And now for Christmas, I'll wait till probably American Thanksgiving. I don't go that early. I'll wait till American Thanksgiving. But then, yeah, it's full bore for that too. I have a lot of fun with this stuff.
I'm glad that you do have fun with it. But again, remember, you are a 6-time reigning insane person. So maybe,
and someone with a sense for decorating, unlike Geoff, who would rather see nothing. Who'd be happier if everyone else didn't do anything. That meant he didn't have to do anything either.
September 9th. You can spend this any way you want. You're a sick fuck.
No, I'm not. And you wish you had a little basket of mini candy bars on the way out the door to
he probably
to have
does.
on the way.
He probably just has a bowl
I
full
gotta
of
yell at my wife to stop buying candy. Every time it's $5 off, she's got to buy another box.
It's a good investment.
No, and Tim, I like Halloween.
Do you?
I promise you, I'll be at the store the morning after to buy like my own box at 70% off just for myself.
That's where I buy a lot of the Halloween decorations.
I'll trigger you. I'll trigger you right now because I know you hate when they like shape things differently.
I do.
These are delicious. Reese's, Halloween, ghosts.
No, they're
pumpkin.
not that good. The ratio is off. I had those. The ratio's off.
No,
It's too
the
much peanut
ratio
butter.
is off. I'll tell you where the ratio is off. The Halloween mini cups are where the ratio is off.
And this year, I don't know if you noticed that the mini coffee crisps are smaller than they ever were before, and the peanut butter cups are smaller than they were before. Don't think I haven't noticed.
The minis are getting minier, you're saying?
Yeah, they are. Like in a
No,
noticeable
I don't think
way.
Halloween is mini. I think Halloween is like bite size on the
Whatever.
size chart.
That may be. That fair enough. But like noticeable. Like the coffee crisp one was the one that like shocked me. Because like I know what that should look and feel like, and it was much more slight. I don't even remember what else I was going to talk about.
I cannot believe September 9th. That is sick, dude.
No, it's
one
not.
didn't even happen. Yes, it for Halloween.
I waited. I wanted to go earlier. I forced myself to wait till football season.
So this was like the day after Chiefs Lions. You decorated.
Probably during
It
the game.
was a Saturday. No, it was the Saturday before week 1.
Oh my god!
And it made me really happy.
So you decorated before September 9th. That picture was just taken.
No, that was the day of. I took the picture day of.
So what candy did you put in the bowl before they started selling Halloween candy?
Nothing. They start selling Halloween candy in like August. So there was no risk of that.
Is that Halloween candy or like kids' lunch candy?
No, it's Halloween candy.
Or you're like my grandma who has like Werther's Originals in there.
No. That bowl is all part of the Halloween motif. If you can tell, it's sort of like a web.
That pumpkin seems like a pretty happy guy.
He is happy. He's right on the front outside. He's on my door. He's very happy.
Although he does seem to be like, he has a crazy person smile and is giving people side eye.
Yes, that's true. But it made me laugh.
No, I don't want to put this out there
Put it out there.
because I feel like at some point there'll be such voter fatigue and the audience will almost just want to see, like, their idea will be like, okay, like, I know Tim's most insane, but it would be a fun, like, season storyline if we actually vote for Geoff. So I'm afraid to actually say this, but knowing that you decorate for Halloween in your apartment without any kids on September 9th, if I ever lose to you, I'll take it way harder than I would have yesterday before I knew that information. Like losing to you, I will take way harder than I ever thought based on this new information.
Yes. How dare I be festive and how dare I enjoy holidays? How dare I enjoy the things that bring happiness
September
to people?
9th isn't that's not even the holiday. You're early. You're like almost over a month early.
I agree that I'm early, but that's how much A, I'm delighted to get rid of summer, and B, ready to celebrate both Thanksgiving and
So,
fall
like, are you
season.
watching scary movies? Are you drinking
No, because
pumpkin
half
beer?
that's
Like what?
no,
like
well,
where does this
no,
go?
it's not out yet. But like half of the stuff is Thanksgiving decorations, which is the very first part of October. So it's like
I didn't
a
see
month
much
early.
Thanksgiving there.
One of the tables is that okay, so I sent Pat 2 more photos, and at least one of them is an exclusive Thanksgiving
So
table.
like you can hide a pumpkin and a skull, and then it's just Thanksgiving.
No, absolutely not. It's a whole Thanksgiving motif.
Yeah, instead of pumpkins, he has gourds.
I have pumpkins, I have gourds, I have things that say thankful on them. There's leaves. I have a gnome.
I like that you decorate like my grandma does. It's amazing.
Okay, well, like I have a Thanksgiving like tablecloth and napkins, and
Tim, can I tell you something?
makes me happy.
You don't have to ask permission to say things on the show, Geoff. I'm just telling you. You can just say
I know
things.
I'm bad.
You can
My
just
friends
say,
make fun
you
of
can
me all
just
the
say
time.
things.
My friends will make fun of me all the time because I'll be like, I'll start a question by saying question. I'm sorry. I am flawed, not as flawed as the decorating September 9th man.
What?
Oh no, to me that's a flaw. That's a character flaw, I think.
A character flaw.
Yeah, I have many, and they come to the surface here a lot. Less than you, but decorating for Halloween on September 9th, I think is a character.
It's all fall decorating.
See,
part of the fall
that's where
decorating.
you can almost save yourself a bit.
But it is. It isn't just Halloween. It's the whole fall season.
September 9th, you had out the spooky pumpkins and the webs, buddy.
Well, yeah, I did. I had it all out. 'Cause
That's
it's all
not
part of-
fall.
I'm not. Well, it is.
No. Like,
If you did a word association with Halloween, autumn would be one of the words people would use.
I see. If we family feuded that,
summer
on.
doesn't even end until
It's not
September
one.
23rd.
It's not one.
yeah,
but like,
would
it's in
that
the
be
top six.
if I put the top 5 answers on the board right now of give me your one word association with Halloween? You think that autumn would be one of the top 5?
I think it's got a real chance to be like 5 or 6. Yeah,
Well,
I do.
I said,
You know what day summer
no.
ended?
Spooky, scary. There's 2. Candy. There's another one.
In my opinion, summer ended when the Open Championship ended.
But you know
I
what day it
technically-
actually
So
ends?
to you, hold on. To you, summer ends in July.
Some years it's a sliding scale, but certainly by Labor Day it's over.
I
Done with.
believe
Goodbye.
you decorated for
I waited till
Halloween.
Labor Day ended.
I don't think summer actually ended officially till September 21st.
Well,
or
that's
something.
true, but fall doesn't officially end until December 21st. Does that mean people should keep shouldn't put up anything Christmassy before December 21st?
Probably
no. Christmas is totally legit.
Because you say so, but I feel like both are.
Well, you seem to
When
think that
does your
everything
tree
is.
I put my Valentine's stuff up in January.
Your Valentine's stuff? What are you, an elementary classroom?
I have tables and I decorate it with all my Valentine stuff, and then it goes down, and then my St. Patrick's Day stuff goes up, and then it comes down, and then my Easter stuff goes up, and then it goes down, and then there's nothing for months, and it's very sad. And it's like it's dull in the worst part of the year, the May, the June, the July, the August.
You're like a walking Hallmark card.
I take that as a thank you. I think it's neat. Again, it's just for me, and it makes me happy.
Sure. So, but again, it can be just for you. But the entire premise of this was you railing on Geoff about it.
Because Geoff is angry that other people are having fun. How dare that person be so fun and loving and kind?
No,
I wish that he put nothing up.
That's not what that was about. You're doing this within the confines of your own home. No one's really seeing it outside of you. Geoff is now being pressured to do things outside of his home.
But it's still the stuff that's on their property. I don't think it's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
Geoff
Because
is just being made to feel bad that he won't get into the swing of things.
You're trying to make him feel bad for not being a weirdo.
No, I'm not.
A try-hard weirdo.
I'm not. All I'm asking is for him not to be sour grapes about the people who are going all out for Halloween. How about don't criticize them for their efforts? What's wrong with people these days? Yeah, why can't they? Well, they enjoy it.
Someone made a comment. I agreed with it and said it's kind of getting out of hand.
Ridiculous was your word. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of getting ridiculous. And what you're doing is way more ridiculous, in my opinion. So you've raised the bar as you're known to do. But Tim, my advice for you, even though you're like petrified to do it, your whole game could go to a whole new level. You could raise your game by the factor of 50 if you were willing to like shop for these knickknacks online.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you went on to Etsy to find this stuff, you could have like custom built.
Like what you could do, but you're too afraid, I think.
I'm fine. I've got good stuff.
You have some stuff. You could have better stuff.
Do you ever tell a lady at these stores, like, can you hold that thing for me?
No, if I want something, I'll purchase it.
No, but you're like, I noticed you haven't put the stuff out. When it comes out, like, will you make sure to hold it?
No,
me?
I have not yet had to say that.
Do you ask a lady what day they change?
No, I'll just go and look. There's a Michael's not far from where I live. I went in August just to see when it was out.
It wasn't, right?
Not in early August, but
you literally might have beaten Spirit Halloween to decorate.
I think no, not to decorating, but like I was like
I don't think the Spirit Halloween in my neighborhood opened on September 9th.
Hold on, I can tell you when I bought
it was
some
like
of this
September
stuff this year because I have it on my phone. I know I bought some stuff early in the year. Let me see if I can find exactly when I bought some of the stuff I decorated with. I know I took a photo.
You could buy this stuff all year round. If you weren't scared of the internet and buying things on the internet.
If you went online, Tim, you know, the stuff's on sale, like the candy.
Oh, yeah. You get it for way cheap. You get it for like a quarter of the price, Tim. But you're Tim too
Like
rich.
props
so
to that
doesn't
dude
care.
buying his Christmas merch in March or something.
Nah, well, whatever. It made me happy.
All right, let's get back to the games. Cleveland.
He had other things.
I don't even remember what they were now.
We just went 25 minutes on that.
I did not think we had 25
But we
minutes
have two
worth of that.
minis next week.
Yeah, so
you'll make
Gus
up
can
for it.
save some. I have some written down too if we ever get into a pinch, so we'll be fine. Browns at Seahawks is the next game. The Seahawks are favored by 3. The total is 40. I think I have gotten the Browns wrong every single week this season. So I am probably not the best judge of what the Browns are going to do. They have this elite defense, but they start giving up huge plays. Maybe it's because it was on the indoor track last week. I don't know, but the Colts do have some speed. The Seahawks also have some speed. They'll probably get DK back for this game. I just don't know what to make of the Seattle team at all. Like, they're kind of taking care of business, but they haven't. They go in, they beat the Lions, and they look kind of crappy against the Bengals. And can you guys help me out with this one? Because I don't know what to do here.
Might be my super lock.
Might be my super lock. I love Seattle in this game.
Okay. Why?
I don't think Deshaun Watson going into that building against that defense, the way he's been playing, has a hope in heck of coming out of there with a W. I expect the Browns to get worked in this game. They can't block. The quarterback is making terrible decisions. And if you tell me they're going to end up having to go to PJ Walker in the game, even better, or at least no better. I don't see a single thing here where, like, the Browns, this immaculate Browns defense was exposed last week. There's absolutely a blueprint out there to beat them. And I just think Seattle's going to have a field day on them.
See,
this number is wrong.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know if the Browns defense was exposed last week. They generated 4 turnovers, blocked the punt, and had a defensive touchdown. They gave up some chunk plays.
Garrett played great. Garrett played great, but they gave up 33 points or whatever it was, like 38 points. I think Deshaun is in for a world of disaster. I think Seattle wins this game comfortably.
I would point to, Geoff, looking at like kind of the breakdown.
I think Jeff's on the exact same page.
Yeah, I think that Cleveland's defense kind of works out well, but the biggest thing is the Seattle defense, a top 5 run defense, a bottom 10 pass defense. If you don't think that the Browns can capitalize through the air, which Tim doesn't, I don't think that I do either, then I would lean towards Seattle. But with the way that Seattle's been playing, it's just asking them to win by margin by more than a field goal is tough against a really good defense.
Back-to-back road games. That was an exhausting game last week. And honestly, it was a physical game. The 49ers were still not recovered from the physicality of the game from the week before against Cleveland. So I don't know if this is a thing, Pat. I've just sort of thought about it on the fly. How do teams do the week after playing Cleveland? Maybe not well, and I'm making that up. And I'm overreacting to what I witnessed last night, but I feel like playing Cleveland takes a toll. That being said, I agree with Tim. This could be a super lock. Geno can throw dimes, and they went into the red zone, I think 3 or 4 times in that second half versus the Bengals and came away with 3 points. This is not me giving a shit what they did to Arizona last week. I do not care. I'd like them to win that game. I wasn't surprised by any of that result. I think they're way better than I thought. I think Geno has these weapons and he can throw these dimes. Granted, there's he's got like bad play ability. I see that, but they give up big plays in the passing game too to the Browns, and I think the Seahawks could take advantage of that lone sliver of weakness on the plays that Miles doesn't blow Geno up. Give me the Seahawks at home. I make fun of the 12th man a lot, but an inexperienced QB like PJ Walker, let's go roar.
I'm going to take Cleveland +3. I think I've seen enough of Geno that when he gets a bit under duress, the bad decisions do kind of come to fruition. We've seen that in some of the close games so far this season. Listen, Seattle can most definitely blow them out in this game, especially if they get healthy. And listen, Jerome Ford's going to be out for Cleveland. You get Lucky Pierre Strong starting at running back with Kareem Hunt. That's no great shakes. That I could see it one way, but if it's just going to be it feels like a field goal game to me either way, just based on the quality of both defenses, that I'll just gladly take the points. And
when am I going to get my Deshaun Watson credit?
I feel like we have been giving it to you. You just don't.
Because I remember on the preseason QB rank show when I made
Tim, stop. We've basically given you credit every week that he's looked bad. Do you want it?
Which is every week.
Sure. And we've given it to you every week.
Don't feel like we've actually stopped and actually taken a moment to really.
So hold on. Do we have to do this every week? Should we go fine tooth comb through everything that is said by you on the show?
No.
And then we should evaluate it on a week by week basis to only give you credit and not mention anything you get wrong.
I just think I was out there on that one when I laid down that marker as early as I did. Just feel like it should be noted.
Sure. You were absolutely correct through the first 7 games of the year, and he's hurt. He's probably not going to get better at this
point. I
point.
won't bring that up again for a long time.
Till next week?
No.
What if he plays this game and they win 30-0 and he looks great? Do you have to retract your credit? Because you always
if he does it like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, then yes.
You always want an awful lot of credit before like a season's over or something like that. Like, I was right for 3 weeks. Of course I'm right. And then we never have to hear about it again.
Yeah, if it goes the other way for several weeks in a row, then sure, then you can. But right now,
each week when we've brought up the Browns and their offense, we've given you credit that hey, Tim was ahead of this.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
You want us to keep doing it over and over.
I just said you don't have to do it anymore for quite a while.
Okay,
I'm good.
I'll take Cleveland, Baltimore, and Arizona. Arizona is a 8.5-point underdog at home. Baltimore is the team of the week. Geoff, Lamar's up to second in the MVP voting, so that just automatically means the Cardinals are going to win, so I'll take the Cardinals. Letdown spot.
I will say, as a part of the common sense teaser, we're taking the Ravens down.
What's that get them to 1.5?
Yeah, it gets them to yes. Right now it's 1. On our show number. It's 1.5. That's right.
Yeah. So I'll take Arizona against the spread, though, plus 8.5.
Because that spread is moving towards Arizona.
I don't care.
Unsurprised. But I mean, unsurprisingly, you should bet them now. That's going to keep moving towards Arizona, I think.
Okay. We try not to bring up other spreads on the show, Tim. It's
the current DK one. That's all. That's
when I said what the spread was at the beginning, like what's on the board is what we go with. Remember that?
Yes,
from the past 7 years.
All right,
Geoff.
I think Arizona, what they've done is like perfect, where they came out of the gates like ultra competitive, fought like way above their weight class. But I do feel as every week goes on, we're going to get closer to, oh man, I guess Kyler could be coming back. Baltimore is due for a letdown. Like the conversation a week ago was like Baltimore doesn't put teams away. They keep teams around. They're really sloppy about it. This is like just a total spread pool pick. Arizona, I think it's the first time I've actually picked them this year. I don't give a shit. I don't think Baltimore will be the favorite that loses this week, though. But one of them will. Probably the Chargers.
So, Tim, are you taking Arizona or Baltimore?
Baltimore.
All right. Are you looking for other points rather than the spread that we were playing? Are you going to pull a Cam on us?
No, I'm not, because it's a half point that doesn't really matter. But I do think it will continue to move towards Arizona. So I would recommend people play Baltimore as quickly as possible.
Wouldn't you want to play Baltimore not play Baltimore as quickly as possible?
Yeah,
Wait
sorry.
on Baltimore?
Yes, it's the exact opposite of what I said. Yes, it's going to keep moving towards Arizona, so act accordingly.
Kansas. What?
I don't think this is going to be all that competitive of a ball game. I expect this is the type of team the Ravens, you always say when the Ravens play bad teams, they tend to blow them out. And so I wouldn't stay here.
Kansas City and Denver. Denver is an 8-point dog at home against the Chiefs. The Chiefs covered this game at home earlier on in the season at 11.5 points. I think it was 11.5 points, or it was 10.5 points.
It was 11 points, and they were 10.5, and they won by 11.
1-11. Yeah. I feel like the Broncos' defense is starting to get better, Geoff. Like after the 70-point game, they turned their season around defensively, but they've been less of a sieve than they were in the first few weeks.
I guess. I mean, they apparently have a real dirty player on their defense who's suspended for 4 games now.
He can't play anymore.
To your point, Pat, I mean, considering where they are in their season and their future, I don't disagree with like letting Gregory or Clark go and you're just letting young guys fly around the field and see what comes of that. And it does seem like the early results of that have been significantly better than whatever was going on previous. I want to crush the Chiefs. Like, I want to pick the Chiefs quite easily. That being said, they are going, and maybe we should have brought this up in the Dolphin game, but they're going to Berlin next week.
Frankfurt.
And they'll probably cakewalk through this game without showing a single real football play and still win. That game in Berlin next week is going to feel like the Super Bowl. And I don't mean because the two teams are really good. I mean, the logistics around that game are a really huge freaking deal. So it's going to be a massive, maybe the biggest neutral site game in the history of the league. I'll take the Chiefs.
I'll take Denver, Tim.
Yeah, I want to take Denver too.
Me too, but I'm a pussy.
I am going to take Denver. And you notice I don't have them, and I do not have them on the teaser. Yeah, I can't take the Chiefs here. Though I think if Mahomes plays well for another week or two, he's going to be the prohibitive MVP favorite, and it's going to be coming next to impossible to catch him.
See,
because the Chiefs don't seem like they have much resistance.
So disagree with that. I don't think that anything in the MVP race matters whatsoever until we get to like week 13. As long as you're
so
around,
long as he stays healthy, and the Chiefs are the only dominant
around
team
in counting stats with the other quarterbacks, and you have a really hot end of the year, you're going to win. That's how the award's been decided like the past 3 years.
Like the AFC bye, I think is theirs. It's hard for me to imagine the Chiefs not having the bye at this point. The Chiefs are going to run away with the AFC in the regular season. Now, I'm not making any playoff predictions. I won't do that right now. But I don't see anybody in the Chiefs league right now in the AFC. We sort of discussed this with Geoff on James on Sunday night. He seemed to think Baltimore was there. I don't think Baltimore is quite there. I think that the Chiefs are a cut above everybody in the AFC.
The Chiefs have won 16 in a row, Geoff, against the Broncos. Yep. They've won 8 straight in Denver, scoring at least 27 points in each of those games.
I'm switching.
So to take the Broncos?
I'm going to take the Broncos. I don't know that I could actually bet that in real life, but I think making that travel next week, they just, yes, last week's game was close for a bit. It was never close. They just toy. They step on our throat. So, while the Chargers aren't good, I think even the Chiefs, even Chiefs fans know we used to be able to play a good game against them. Now we can't even do that.
They won't even pay their tight end the money he deserves in order to keep his relationship going, according to you.
No, they will pay him. My point, that was strictly point that Travis Kelce's not making. He will. He's with a mogul now. He's going to highfalutin places. He is not, and he's already won Super Bowls. So in fairness to him, I think the natural course of life means it's time to get the big contract. But we'll see. I do believe the Chiefs would be hyper proactive and not reactive to him demanding something in trying to accommodate him. But he's not making 25% less than TJ Hawkinson for much longer. That was the only thing there.
Well, he is also, 34 years old. I don't know how big of a contract he's going to get.
Yeah, if I were the Chiefs, if he asked for that kind of money, I'd say test the market. Goodbye.
Yeah, and I think he will. And I think that it gets to a point where he's going to try to maximize it one time.
It doesn't matter. As long as they have Mahomes, they can let Tyreek Hill walk. He's the best receiver people think in the NFL. Didn't matter if he won the Super Bowl.
Listen, what did I say?
As long as they have Mahomes, they can let Kelce go and they won't miss a beat.
Tim, unequivocally, in this I was very lukewarm on how Tyreek Hill would work in Miami. I did not know how smart Mike McDaniel was. Obviously, he got the perfect player for any offense, but his offense specifically. What I literally cried about and screamed from the rooftops when they traded Tyreek Hill was that this was setting the stage for the Kansas City Chiefs 2.0. that it was going to allow them to be such a deeper football team. They accumulated draft picks and money, and they executed. And now every layer of their defense is strong, but there's also a reinforcement who doesn't even start. And if they paid Tyreek Hill, that's not possible. And they already won a Super Bowl since that trade. So they don't just win on the field, they win off the field by such a freaking margin. And it's impossible to hate. I will also say it's clear that that relationship was going on much longer, and it probably changes the dynamic and or like the opinions, maybe mine included. And there is no way this girl could be anywhere in the world. She could be anywhere in the world.
Are you saying
If
that
she is
Are you saying that he's dating Carmen Sandiego?
No. I'm saying that unless she was absolutely like beyond head over heels with this man, she's not spending every weekend at fucking Gates Barbecue in Kansas City. So like the legitimacy of the relationship, I feel, has gone up exponentially in a fair and balanced take, because you're Taylor Swift. Like, you're not just hanging out in Kansas City. Like, you're just not. No offense. I'd love Kansas City. Best barbecue in the world. The best fans that even before they became a dynasty, you didn't think you were going to get shivved or shanked in a washroom like going to a Raider game. They're just beautiful people, beautiful football fans. Obviously, a lot of them are a little spoiled now, but that comes with the territory when it's your freaking world. Do you have an early lean for Chiefs Dolphins?
No.
Yeah, Chiefs. The Dolphins are bad against good teams.
Paul?
So is Travis Kelce good enough for Taylor now there, Geoff? Is that
He
what
he doesn't make enough. He doesn't make enough for her. He can't
the
support her.
relationship is way more legitimate than I think anyone. Like when he put out those summer signals of like, I want to send her a friendship bracelet, they were already dating. The timeline just doesn't add up to be where they are now. I'm not looking at Pat, but I imagine he's fucking rolling his eyes at me. I see him now. Paul asked me a question.
Paul's doing it to troll me in the studio.
My girls went to the movie on Sunday. I'm at home watching Travis Kelce drop 200. My girls are dancing in the aisle to the concert. My girl comes home. She wants to know. I don't know whether someone put her up to it. Probably my wife. Like, oh, study how Taylor's boyfriend did. He's amazing. He did awesome. It's a great strategy to leave the whole fucking open up middle field. Never mind. Well, I'm not saying that word.
At least your coach isn't a defensive coordinator. So,
Bengals and 49ers.
here we go.
After crippling their season, they're still 5.5-point favorites, Tim. And you say they can't lose this game, but will they cover the spread against the Bengals?
I think they're going to win comfortably. Yeah, I really like the 49ers in this game. This is exactly the spot where I think Cincinnati is going to be extraordinarily popular underdog coming off a bye in San Francisco, sort of quote unquote reeling. But like weird things conspired for them to lose last week. And weird stuff actually had to happen for them to lose against the Browns. Like this team probably could have and should have won both those games. I'm not breaking my stride. I think San Francisco is still a cut above everybody in the NFC, and I am definitely going to take them here.
I'm going to take Cincinnati in the points. I just think this is going to be a close game. If Burrow's going to be healthy, the defense is starting to play a little bit better. And although McCaffrey played well and played every snap, it didn't seem like he quite had the same burst that he normally does on a play-to-play basis. No Debo in this game. So I think the 49ers are going to be fine. They are fine. All this talk about it's just so funny to me how the sky is falling for all of these teams if they lose two games. Like teams don't go like if the Niners continue to win out when they have this 2-game blip. Oh, they were 15-2. Okay, well, what if they were 12-5 this year? They were the 1 seed in the NFC. Would we go into the playoffs and be like, well, they can't win. They lost 5 games this year. Teams lose there's no undefeated teams left in football. Like teams lose. It's fucking football. Sometimes great teams play bad games. happens. That's why we play the entire season, to watch it go through. So I think you're right that San Francisco is going to be fine, but since he needs this one, they need to be able to keep pace with Baltimore here. And like you said about Minnesota, how they kind of saved their season. It's not that Cincinnati needs to win this game to save their season, but they might need to win this game to kind of announce that they're back in the AFC. And I think that they will win this game. So I will take Cincinnati, Geoff.
I just want you guys to know I looked to see how teams play after the Browns.
Yeah, they win.
And I stopped looking. I stopped looking once I got to them beating Tennessee by like 100, and then the very next week Tennessee beat the Bengals by like 30. So I stopped playing that game. I'm taking San Fran. I just believe they're in a different class. I am worried. Burrow's probably 100% now, like that, or close to it off the bye. But San Fran, I think they're going to punch him in the mouth.
Okay. Next game. Oh, Sunday Night Football. Bears and Chargers. Give me the Bears plus 8.5.
We had a good laugh about this on Sunday when we got the spread. We both went too low, and you're like, can you imagine who is happily walking up to the betting counter to say, I'd like to lay 8.5 points with the Chargers, please.
Yeah, like it's nothing against.
We had a good giggle about it.
I do think the Chargers deserve to be this big of favorites in terms of the talent gap between these teams. But Geoff, as a Chargers fan and a gambler, could you imagine walking up to the window with the utmost amount of confidence and being like, Chargers minus 8.5?
You would have like, even for me to lay the 8.5, I would have had to dominated Sunday. Like, my account would have had to have been so good this Sunday, Pat, that I'm like, you know what? I can afford to just dump this shit. I don't know what to make. We shouldn't be favored against this versus anybody. Maybe they're a little overvalued because there's a fun story happening in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Like, honestly,
the guy did throw for 2 air yards a pass, and
Bajon?
It's so weird. Like, when we say McDaniel should be fired first, it's because aren't you supposed to take a quarterback from Division II and make him make the hard throws? Like, don't you take away the easy throws and say, and he did make some nice throws, moving sideways, moving chains. I was on the Bears. It was an enjoyable watch. But, I mean, you dare the kid. You take away the flat and you say, throw it to the sideline. Like, go beat me, kid. And Josh McDaniels and that defensive coordinator forbid to try that.
I think listen, I do think that Chicago's going to be the popular side in this game based on what we saw with the Chargers. There is a good chance the Chargers win by 35 points because Chicago sucks. I think that we need to keep that in mind. And the Chargers don't suck. They might be like average, and maybe they're playing below what their talent level is right now, but they just are overall a better team. They are addicted. Even games they win. I mean, I guess they didn't play a one-score game last week, but generally speaking, they love playing a one-score game. And watching Bajon play, or old Teabag, as people are calling him, which I thoroughly enjoy, he was weirdly poised, Tim. And I think you pointed that out to me as we were watching it. Like, if nothing was there, he just threw it away. He didn't try to win the game for them, and that weirdly helped them win the game.
But what would happen if they go down 10?
Oh, they're fucked.
Then the poise might be different. I don't trust the Chargers here.
To throw it away.
Pardon?
If they get down 10, just wait for Justin Herbert to make a characteristic bad decision and take advantage.
That's what he's known. He's known for that.
Well, he's not known for winning big games.
Listen, this is, again, like, if we're gonna, there's enough there. There's enough there. I don't know. The Chargers haven't, you're right. Like, Pat nailed it. Like, yes, the Chargers are playing a team in a worse weight class than they've probably played all year, but that probably doesn't even matter.
The top
I
post,
just can't lay these points as a matter of principle.
Said, if they are really bad, last year, the Chargers did cover in these games last year on prime time, like versus the Rams, versus the Colts. like truly punching down in their weight class. They did, but this group, I'll tell you why. For all the obvious reasons, you don't want to lay this number with like a Chargers team that you've believed in the past was invested. I'm going to say it. It is possible that monorail motherfucker has lost the locker room. And some of the quotes I saw after the game, no one understands. Like, you cannot play off the ball like that. You got to man up and just do your best. But you got no chance doing what we are doing. Like 12 yards off the ball on 3rd and 5. Like, who does that against a quarterback like that? Our ability, we are never safe. It could be 3rd and 20. We are not safe. I have to count to 10 after every third. I used to be able to count to 3. I go 1, 2, 3. No flag. Yes. Now it's ask Gary. I taught him this technique. It's just what you do when you care, because you can't celebrate. You can't celebrate in this league because that Chiron flag is going to show. But now it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flag. Fuck. Or lost fucking cause. And it happened last year. Maybe it was during the Ryder Cup. So like I didn't make a deal of it because I was kind of consumed. But I don't even like, is Corey Linsley going to retire, or is it just a 4-week injury that started 3 weeks ago? Like, I don't know. It's just a heart thing. But ever since he's left, the center is giving way and the pressure gets into Herbert's face instantly.
So
possible the Chargers, is it possible the Chargers play a ceiling game where every unit contributes?
It's possible.
Fuck no.
No, it's possible.
Fuck no.
It's possible.
Fuck no.
Tim, this is for you. This is from Chargers Reddit.
What?
Yeah, I'm on Chargers Reddit right now. It's just a video of Austin Eckler just being dubious of Brendan Staley's play calling from after the game. But also, it's actually an article from ESPN. That's the link. Last 3 games, 653 passing yards, his fewest in a 3-game stretch in his career. 4 interceptions, tied for the most in a 3-game span in his career. Only a 57.1% completion percentage, 4th worst amongst quarterbacks in his past 3 starts. Do you know what the headline of that article is, Tim?
What does it say?
Is Justin Herbert's injured finger holding him back?
Yeah, it's not that he's just been playing badly for 3 weeks. No. It can't be anything
Well,
to
he
do
was
with
amazing in the first half of the Raider game, but I can't blame a non-throwing hand finger. But yes, it's been 2 games and a half of not him. I don't know who you are. I don't know who that man is. That is not the man that played those games at quarterback. And then there are times where I begged, and this is going to sound weird to people, but in someone that's just fully invested, Justin is just such a robot. He has just been so well trained. He never says anything. It's like the most boring cliches. Win, lose, or draw. We win, we lose, we draw. Phillip Rivers would get to that microphone and would just give you what's in his heart. I miss that.
So what you're saying is that Justin Herbert is the bad guy from Care Bears.
No heart.
No, we'll get it. He'll get it together. He's good. We'll be.
No, there's an image we need. Justin Herbert's face imposed on No Heart.
Does that make Jeff Beasley or whatever that guy's name was?
Yes. There was Beasley and there was Shrieky, right? Weren't those the 2 acolytes?
Well, you could be too. I mean, we'll just get Mayo Media memes on this one. So we'll have Beasley as Jeff, Shrieky can be you, and Justin Herbert is No Heart.
Oh my God. I like that.
Let's move on to Monday Night
amazing.
Football. I assume you're taking the Bears, Jeff?
I don't give a shit.
Then make a pick. You talked for 30 minutes about it. Just make a pick.
What did the coin take?
We can't let you know that.
I want what the coin has.
Chargers.
Then I'm on the Chargers.
Vegas and Detroit. Detroit's an 8-point favorite. I feel like we're all going to lose a lot of money on this game because Detroit might be my super lock, Tim.
Well, I don't hate that. I'm teasing the Ravens, or sorry, I'm teasing the Lions as well. It's just a 4-team tease this week.
Are you taking Detroit against the spread?
Yes, I am taking them against the spread.
This is the ultimate.
What's Detroit on the money line?
Minus 400.
Yeah, I might bet $2,000 to win 500 on Monday.
I think that is a bad idea.
That's good news for you, Geoff.
Because just like, do you really? How many more times, Geoff, do the Raiders have to just hit you in the head with a shovel or treat you like Joe Pesci gets treated in Home Alone? That's what the Raiders are doing to you.
When is the last time the last time the Lions were on Monday Night Football is when they lost to Sam Darnold in his quest to be the greatest quarterback ever, right?
There's no way it's been 5 years since the Lions were on Monday Night Football.
Why?
No,
Maybe it has.
Yeah, I think it might.
There's just no way.
I think it was. Lions games on. Oh, do you know what really got fired up this morning when I went on? I logged on to Reddit, Tim, and guess what subreddit was all fired up after Sunday Night Football?
_Darnold?
That would be correct.
Well, of course. He's being held back.
Let's see. Can I try to find London games on Monday Night Football? I don't see a history of Monday Night Football here, so I can't effort that.
They played the Packers 2 years ago on Monday Night Football and lost 35-17.
At home or away?
In Lambeau, they had a lead and gave the game away.
No,
so when's the last home Monday Night Football game?
When was the last home Monday Night Football game?
Anyway, I agree with Pat. It's going to be an alt line Lions minus 13.5.
Bumbling Brock
their last home one. Yeah, their last home one was that Jets game, but they played the Packers twice on Monday Night Football since.
So they lost week 2 in their home opener to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like just in like a rambunctious home crowd. I think Monday night's just going to be a shit show there. And the Raiders, for what that Ben Johnson can do, that's his name, right?
Yeah. He's going to test positive for steroids soon.
I haven't dove into this deeply, and we're probably a loss or two away for me getting to know the coordinators around the league. But in knowing nothing, he is my currently, if we're power ranking my choices, he's my number one choice for Chargers coach.
Tim?
Yes?
Bumbling Brock has failed the proud patriots of San Francisco by refusing to secure the border against the blonde, horn helmet invaders of the north. Chaos and lawlessness on the streets as our defense is sieged by the purple predators as Dirty Purdy stands idly on the sidelines. We, the people, demand Shady Shanahan reinstate the Jeebus, give Purdy the boot now. History will remember this.
Yeah, I mean, look, your dream scenario is still not gone.
It's really the best that it could be.
Did you say the spread was 7.5?
8.
How are the Chargers a bigger favorite than the Lions?
Well, that's a good question. I guess because the Bears only have 2 wins, but yeah, the Bears just blew out the.
Like, I know A plus B doesn't equal C, but
that's a fair point.
The Lions at least incorporate strategy.
Yeah, the Lions are a lot better. Yeah, that's a very fair point. If you flop these teams, would the Chargers be favored though by 8.5 over the Raiders? I don't think so.
No,
but the Raiders in the third string quarterback. It was 7 or 7.
That's what I mean. So
but I don't think that the Lions would be 8.5 point favorites in a division game against the Bears either.
I agree with that too.
Also, many people are saying the skull, which is something that the liberal media is pumping you about critical gaze theory, Tim. All I know is that the good people of this country want Sam Darnold back at quarterback. This is my favorite page on Reddit. It's not even close.
It's hilarious.
folks, a lot of people, very, very smart people are telling me Bogus Brock, Shifty Shanahan, and Lion Lynch are about to get arrested.
Lion Lynch about to get arrested. Oh my!
And they're going to get sent to Guantanamo Bay for their crimes against the beautiful people of San Francisco. Oh, there's puny Purdy. There's some good ones that you can go with Purdy here. Anyway, let's get to the Super Locks. We were all 0-3 last week. That's not good. I'm going to take Detroit -8.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Wow. Okay.
I think
-3.
I think Jeff's joining me.
No, I'm not.
Yet.
Okay.
I think I'm closer to joining Pat.
Make your own goddamn picks.
Well, no, I think they're
What is
gonna
the
win
coin
by 2
like?
touchdowns.
We need a D&D die to make Super Lock picks.
Yeah. He has to make something to have a justice position between his picks and mine.
A justice of position.
Yeah, justice of position.
Whatever.
You can make a pick. I'm sorry, shocked you didn't take the Jets, Tim, since you called it a bye week for them.
Yeah, that's true. But the
Are they
game
on
I
your
feel
teaser?
the strongest about, no, because they'd have to tease through 0. I'm
Yeah,
not
but then
teasing
you
through
get
0.
them +4. You're not.
I'm
gonna
not
lose.
teasing through 0.
It's
I
a
have
bye
learned.
week, and then you have to lose by more than a field goal.
No, but I'm not teasing through 0. I have a whole strategy here of playing just 4 teams, the four big favorites I feel the
But
best
you
about,
teased
just
through
teasing them
0
down.
before this season, and you said, "I don't care. I'm teasing through 0."
And I lost those.
He's
but the
learning.
Jets can't lose.
He is a learning.
I've learned.
He is
I am
a learning
sticking-
SuperNet computer.
I'm sticking with what I've got.
I'm taking Detroit. To me, this is going to be like a shit kicking of epic proportions. Honestly, I'll have a Detroit -16 points wager.
And the free money is going to be Miami -2.5 on a 7-point teaser, Philly to a pick'em, Baltimore to -1.5, and Detroit to -1. Tim,
That's it.
on a 7-pointer, what does that pay? 2-1, 250.
It's 2-1. It's safer. It's more conservative, but I think it's gonna come through.
And I just have to check the sheet. I will use. No, I've already used Detroit. Okay.
You have lots of choices this week.
I do, but I want to make the right one to continue to be alive in Survivor. I will use. Have I used? I've used Philly.
You still have the Dolphins? They're the biggest spread. That's why I say that.
They are the biggest spread. I have not used the Dolphins yet. I'll do it just for you, Jeff. Actually, no. I won't.
No.
I'll use Miami. Miami is my selection for Week 8 Survivor. I mean, you guys were eliminated in Week 3. That was years ago.
It sure was.
Tim barely had his Halloween decorations up at that point.
We've
Stop
got
it.
to get out of here so Tim can start decorating for Easter.
Stop it. Stop it. Jeff, you lost a lot of votes today, and I gained a lot of votes today.
Dude,
Really?
I said
That
this-
hold on. That was your takeaway from the conversation today?
Yes, that Jeff's, grouchy and crotchety and anti-fun position is not going to earn him.
No.
Actually,
the
will
only
earn him
thing
votes.
I did to help you was to tell the people that I would actually like this new information. I would be more scorned to lose to you than ever before. To lose to a man of all the things you claim, but this grown ass man decorating his Halloween on September 9th, I would be crushed. I would be crushed, I think now.
Crush Jeff. Vote
That
Jeff.
should be your campaign.
Just be you in an orange
You
crush
have
can.
no chance of beating me on legitimate grounds anymore.
Oh, I see. So if I win, if I win, the election's stolen.
If you win,
That's what you
it is
hold on.
because-
That's what you claim, by the way, when you lost to
Well,
Jeff.
you people manipulated with the raw votes. But anyway, that's a separate question. Jeff is over here claiming that the only way he can lose is if the election is rigged. Oh, well, then don't campaign then.
No, not rigged.
Don't
not rigged.
campaign.
No,
Then
no,
don't
no,
campaign.
no.
Don't
Not
campaign.
rigged.
Give
I don't
the
believe
floor to me.
anyone is. I don't believe anyone is changing ballots. I believe these people, and I encourage vote. Go vote. Let your feelings show your feelings. I'm not trying to suppress any vote.
If
I
you
don't
like,
believe the
yeah.
vote is rigged. I believe people just want to. It's like they want to see a heavy metal band make a jazz album. Like they were just curious what the hell will happen.
I have an ace in the hole, and that's the Swifties. The Swifties are going to come in to save me here.
No, I'm back. Me and the Swifties are back together.
No, you want them to break
Can I
up.
tell you why? Can I tell you why?
No, I don't want to hear about this anymore.
No, it's just like, buddy, she is sitting too close to a serial fucking predator.
What?
Get your own box. Don't sit in front of that fucking guy. Don't worry, Pat. It doesn't involve you.
Who are we talking about?
Swifties agree with me.
Okay. I guess I should throw it to Tim Andercust.
Tim and Gust.
That is not my name.
Do you know what the hell he's talking about?
I think he's talking about a relative of a player on the team that's hanging around.
Great. Fantastic stuff. Did you see that? You're always on the TikTok, Tim. Did you see the TikTok of someone like superimposing the way that Aiden Hutchinson rushes the passer to Waluigi when he's running like this?
No, but
great.
that's amazing.
It's like dead on how Aiden Hutchinson rushes the passer. How is the feedback about your mouse versus trackpad going?
As I said on Sunday night, I'm just here to say that I'm not going to fight you people anymore. That except for a few people who were brave enough to say they agree
when you
with
say
me and made
few,
some
when
sense.
you say few, we saw one.
Well, again, one that was like willing to like
Can we? Well, you
tag Geoff in it.
You just took a photo and sent it to me. Can you screenshot anyone else signing
No.
with you?
I'm just saying. I'm not even here.
Is it because they don't
I'm not
exist?
I'm not even here to defend
No,
it.
hold on. But you
Clearly the
tried, hold
people
on.
have decided that they prefer mouses.
You tried to put in a caveat of there are a few people who side with you. Ask for more evidence than one person who agrees with you. You cannot provide that evidence. So can you just say, if you're going to be honest and truthful, that there is one person?
I think I saw a comment as well that was pro trackpad. In addition to a tweet.
You think that you saw.
Yes, I do. But I'm not here to defend it because people have decided, for whatever reason, they prefer the old-timey ways, that's better for them. Then great. I'm not going to fight you people anymore. Sometimes the one thing I've learned is to pick my battles. And if that's what people want to use, then God bless you. Go ahead. I'm not going to say anything anymore.
Accused of never doing real work.
That was.
I'm aware. People said some mean things.
Against
People
you.
said some mean things. And you know what? I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to, cause a big scene. I'm just going to say, okay, folks, I'm just going to let this one go. Continue to use your mouse and be happy and enjoy.
Many have said this one single take may have lost you the election.
Anybody who was going to be swayed on this was never because anyone who was going to cast a ballot in my direction.
I don't agree at all because this is like an overwhelming, like this is the winner of worst take of the year. Like it's going to be a landslide.
Yeah,
I don't think that that's true.
The people who run bot farms are probably like kind of nerds, and they're just like,
how dare you?
They're not running the bot farms for you anymore after what you said.
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer.
Well, that will do it on the show this week. Two-parter next week. It should be out Monday night and Tuesday night. So maybe we'll get better ratings for that. Great ratings for this show, and we'll just start doing it like that every week. Double our viewership, Geoff. There's a way to do it. More
Two
shows.
opportunities for people to fast forward to 5 seconds left and then push play.
Hey, see, there you go. That is useful information. That's great. Thank you for that.
And leave your 5-star comments on Apple Podcasts, not iTunes. I know it doesn't exist anymore. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're doing pretty good on this. You can catch me on Lowell's this week with Brick and Overzet on Thursday live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Give a shout out to that show. Yeah, they've had too many serious guests on in a row. I was like, hey, I just want to like chill back and like have a week off. It's like, sure.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy that show. I do. I tell Peter like it entertains, and even though I'm not a DFS loser as advertised, and I would never play in the sort of, I'm more, when I do play, it's like single entry, 3 entry max, but I'm still so fascinated like about the ecosystem at the very top. So I'm so interested in that show. But I even acknowledged to Peter, like I was tapped out on the Sim Bros combos. Like I couldn't listen to another one. So I'm happy to hear you're going on.
And then we can get back to Sim Bro stuff. No, I really like Lowell's. People should subscribe, rate, download, and review Lowell's as well. Be like, hey, I like to see Pat on, even before the show even comes out. That way they know they can have me back as a guest. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Oh, yes, Geoff, go ahead.
No, I want to say I've hit the surface of like an idea that I've had, which I'll share because I don't think I ever like cared to do it. And it would make the rivals category like go up a bazillion. But I do believe, like, instead of thinking you should get into like DFS football content, you should report on the DFS dramas, like of the beefs.
Yeah.
I swear, I think you would get more YouTube. I'm not talking to you, Pat. I mean, like, you would get more YouTube users doing that than saying your 4 favorite DFS tight ends in a video. I mean that.
Honestly, if there are any content creators out here, Geoff's actually right about that, although Pete and Brian probably have that market corner.
No, but they're like way too
like
serious.
people used
They
to
don't
do
get
on
into
blogs in 2001. Like, did you see what so-and-so said yesterday?
No, it's very short term. Like, obviously, like, beefs will come and go. But Pat, like Brian and Pete, like, they do like the peak of the mountain battles, like the, you know, like when companies dissolve and new ones form. I am talking about more of like the truly petty stuff that like you miss it on the like a Cole's notes of people fighting in the community.
So you really just want like a page 6 for the entire industry.
Yeah, I do. Maybe I should do it, but I encourage someone else to do it because I don't want it.
Yeah, because you don't want to do it.
I'm a little too lazy, even though
Geoff
I think
would
it's a
call
venture.
in to that show the way that Trump used to call in with that fake name to give tips about how great he was.
You know who's a real cool guy? Geoff Fienberg.
That Geoff Fienberg. See that fight he had with that other guy? That guy had it coming. Geoff owned him.
I can see Geoff doing that. But you're not wrong about you would get more subscribers doing that, I believe, than giving out. Here are my 4 top tight end plays, because the 4 top tight end plays thing is like a TikTok video now. It's like a 30-second video.
Yeah, and that's a saturated market. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's why, Tim, the 3-hour shows rate better than ones that are like 20 minutes long.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a long show. I'm just saying there has to be a point of diminishing returns.
Well, wait till we do the 9-hour show later on this year.
I think I would just collapse.
We'll do it next Monday night.
Pull a K, you
live.
just walk off.
We'll do a watch along with Jets and Chargers.
Ugh.
I can't believe
I've always said we should do a day-long watch along of like the Open Championship.
24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, just do it.
That sounds horrible.
Paul, you were
Doesn't
gonna
that?
say?
I can't believe we're about to go under the 3 hours that I predicted earlier on.
There's a lot of bad games.
Never bet unders or never bet overs.
Yeah, unders.
That's the moral of the story.
Unless it's Tim and how many of the item he'll eat on the Sunday night show. The overs have been cashing bigly.
How
on
many
those.
times have you refilled that bowl of candy?
Whatever.
No, I would eat all through it. And you keep filling it up to the brim?
Yeah, a few times.
And every time you walk by, you're just sneaking something?
Not every time, but
Most times.
Most times.
Sneaking
Most
a
times.
taste.
Yeah.
All right. that'll
I'd
do.
almost like be brushing my teeth so much so I don't want to eat chocolate, if that makes any sense. Like
It
if I had
does.
a bowl just in front of me the whole time, like Tim.
You have kids and dogs, though. Like, you can't leave chocolate just lying around. Right? It's poison for, it's poison for the animals, and then, like, you don't want your kids just grabbing chocolate at all hours of the day.
They'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. RunTheSims.com, code Mayo, get you 10% off the Prop Sniper. Or if you want the entire suite of DFS tools and Sims, you can get that too. Or if you just want the props, you can get the Prop Sniper package. Prize Picks and Underdog included with that as well, along with all of the different sports books. You can catch Geoff, I assume, on Thursday Night Football, along with Pizzola. Pizzola and Cam will be here tomorrow. We have an awesome thumbnail for that show. Tim will be back on Sunday night for Sunday Night Live. You can catch me on Lulz on Thursday, and then me and Tambo will be in studio on Friday as well. So a jam-packed week of football for yous, the people, so play in the Listeners League. It's down in the description. Smash the like on the way out. Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience.
I'd have to count it up.
You
It's a lot.
You can estimate for us.
No, I don't have to estimate.
Last time you counted, how many did you have?
I'm pulling up the double play right now.
Because this would give an indication, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. It would. 12, 15, 16, 32. 32 and 40 is 62.
32 and 40 is 72.
There's 72. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. 82 entries. Now,
And then some of the double plays are instant wins. So how many, like at least 10 maybe instant wins?
yes, there's instant wins too, but in my defense, a good number of those, not a good number, but some of those are
People
coupons that people have given to me.
Fair enough. I got to concede that. It's fair.
So you have 80-something entries in 24 days? Now, do you get one per each sticker or per each
You
item?
get 2 per sticker, 2 per item.
Oh, okay.
No, but each sticker, each individual sticker enters you into an end of
Correct.
contest draw. And Tim, it seemed like the way you were counting, you've entered every.
Not every, but
You
most
got
of
a
them.
ticket in every draw.
Most of them. There's 1 or 2 I didn't,
See, I've just been stacking one draw.
which is
It was the 25,000 cap.
get out of it. That's the one I have the most in. Get out of that.
I don't want it. I don't want the camping set though.
Well, I don't want the camping set or the power bundle either.
Hold on, you're out on the camping set?
I don't. That's not the number. No. I mean, the camping set's not the one that I was talking about. The power bundle. Camping set's not one you make a prize for.
I
it's
don't
the-
want a prize. I don't need to go to Universal Studios.
No, I wanted the $2,000 Bay card. Free groceries for a year from Walmart. Although I don't know what free groceries are even. Oh, it's a $10,000 worth of groceries, which seems like a strange amount. I think anyway. A few times I put in for the Chevy Colorado. Not that I need or want a pickup truck, but whatever. That'd be an awesome thing to drive around in. I'd call it my McDonald's. I'd have to give it some cool nickname.
Would you get a decal on it, like to let it, like, you know
Yes,
what I mean?
I would get like the Monopoly Man head sticker and put it on the back bumper. This is
But
a subtle.
would you have the back of? Would you have a decal like I won this on Monopoly?
I think I would just put a little sticker of like the Monopoly Man's head on the truck. That's enough.
Do you have to pay taxes on the prizes?
I believe no, but I don't know that. You might have to. I don't know the ins and outs of it enough. You'd have to ask them when you win a big prize. You'd have to ask them whether it is.
So you're saying the cash is probably a dumb prize because of the tax. You should just.
It might be.
No.
I don't know if it's like a lottery.
No.
or what.
I think it works the other way. I think that you'd want to get the cash because I don't think that the cash is taxable underneath lottery law, but I think an item would be.
It's possible. I really do. I don't want to guess because I don't know the answer.
So if you did win the Colorado, you'd probably be better off just taking like the cash instead of the truck.
The cool thing though about having the truck is that every time I go somewhere and I see people I know, I tell them let's get into the Monopoly wagon or something. And I have to give it some cool name.
But people don't like driving with you, and you don't drive anyone anywhere.
I drive.
You drive yourself.
I drive people places. I am a frequent designated driver.
I suppose that's true. Yes, you are a designated driver, but to go somewhere, like in general, it's usually other people who would drive.
That's because they don't want me to drive. That's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
Because it would take you double the time to get there.
I'd like to drive that car. Now I kind of wish I had more bids in on the Colorado.
I don't ever see you driving a truck, so.
I used to drive my dad's truck a decent amount back when he had one. I didn't mind it.
Okay. Interesting.
It's not like my favorite. It's not my favorite thing, but I didn't mind it.
All right, you guys ready to start the show?
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. You were right, Paul. What? I was like, hey, this feels like a quick week. It's not going to be.
It might be. We could try to get under 3 hours at least.
Yeah. I mean,
We could do a tight 2:45.
16 games.
hey, we knocked off the first few in like 2 hours, so we could be good to go here.
No chance.
No-
No chance. It's
no
3
chance?
hour, at least 3 hours. I'm taking the over.
All right.
Oh God. It's just no need.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience.
feel like I know what the little mini bump trailer is going to be this week.
You're calling it a mini bump trailer?
Isn't that what it is? Like a little bump?
Yeah, Tim's just always doing mini bumps. That's his entire thing.
No, but isn't that what that's called? The first like 20 or 30 seconds of the podcast now?
Well, I would call it a cold open. You could call it a teaser.
A cold open.
You could potentially call
Well,
it
I thought a cold open was something that has no relation to the rest of the show.
It's usually something before the title sequence.
Okay.
But a bumper is what you're thinking about, not mini bumps.
Bumper. Yeah, a bumper.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Jeff, Tim's taking off to the bathroom every 15 minutes at dinner doing some mini bumps and putting them before the show.
A bumper would be
All right,
more
folks.
like going to like commercial break.
Yeah. It's
I
more,
got to go find something to eat. Talk to you all later.
you're going to hit up your bowl
You
right
got
next to
some,
you?
just grab a couple bars on
Put your
way
hand
past.
over here like this.
No.
Tim, do you have enough place to store? Like, if you have things for every season?
Yeah, I have totes.
And you have like a storage locker, I guess, right?
Yeah, I do. They just go in totes.
All
So
right.
it's a great feeling when you're walking up that Halloween tote
Yeah,
from your
it's a lot of
storage
fun.
locker.
It's a lot of fun.
But it's
You're like
sweaty
ear to
because it's
ear
the middle of
sweat.
summer when he's doing it.
Middle of summer. End of summer. But anyway. All right, folks. Talk to you all later.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
guys. Have a good week.
Yeah. Leave meeting.
Experience!